Right, hello everyone, Peter here. This is going to be another kind of longer video where I'm going to look at a bunch of people's art that y'all were kind enough to send in and submit to a tweet I made. And so sit back, relax, get you a hot beverage if you want, or a cold beverage. I don't discriminate. If you're any sort of robot, maybe get you a can of motor oil. I've got a glass of 5W30 here. So I'm ready to go. So I made this tweet right here. Oh, this way. And it says, back by popular demand. So this is the second video I've done like this. It says, want your art critiqued in a YouTube video? I might not be nice. I don't know. See, this is maybe where I went wrong before. Critiqued. It says, I'm not that great of a critiquer. I never took any critiquing lessons. I never went to art school where maybe you learn to critique each other. I don't know. It says, must be your art. Reply below with a pic in a similar format shown here. Your art and Twitter handle must be included, no guarantees. So I guess my idea was that people would submit their art kind of like this with their art and their Twitter handle alongside of it to, when I go through these pictures in these videos, if their art and their Twitter handle is here included or in some sense like this, then that way they will get credit in that fashion. And a lot of people did it like this, but the people that didn't, I apologize. I guess their art will still be included, but I don't really know how to give them credit. Because I just went through this whole thing, the whole Twitter thread, and just downloaded all the pictures to show in the YouTube video. So I apologize to in advance if you didn't follow the instructions and you don't get your credit in the video. Hope you all understand. Let's hop right into this though. All right, we're just going to go through these kind of in a random order. And basically I'm not good at critiquing that much because first of all, who am I? Who am I to say what you should do with your art? I don't know who you are, where you're coming from, what your goals are with art. So look, I'm just one guy. I'm just one guy with one perspective, what I think is good with art. So I'm going to say what I think I would do or what you should do. And I'm just going to put it out there. But look, if on the other hand, you dare to disagree with what I say, if you somehow find it within yourself to come up with your own opinion, for example, if I say I think this should be a little less sketchy, or I think it should be a little more sketchy, if I think you should tighten this up, if I think you should loosen this up, if you think that should be actually loosened up or tightened up, if you disagree with me at all, that's wonderful, okay? That's the great thing about art. People can say completely opposite things and both be totally right in whatever sense of the word you can be right about art, okay? So let me know in the comments like you were before. It's fine. I'm just going to say what I think. And that's all I can do, all right? We can all have our own opinions. I'm just going to say from my perspective, okay? And everyone can think their own thing. And it's beautiful, all right? All right, let's get back to it. All right, here we are. All right. Grid paper, first of all, I like this one because I have very fond memories of drawing on grid paper a lot. More when I was in school because for some reason they made me buy a lot of grid paper as school supplies when I was in school, and we never really used it that much. In fact, I think I used it mostly for drawing when I was in school, and I would sometimes, draw along with the grid lines and stuff, which this person doesn't seem to have done very much, but still really cool. I like all the little hatch marks here, the lines, how they colored this part in solid blue. The blue drawing is cool. I feel like maybe if I would have done one other thing, I might have taken this blue part here and, carried on and colored in some of these gaps between these little viney cables here, just to add a little bit more contrast and depth, right? Like they did here. See this part? I might have done that between these here and might have polished it up a little bit. It's really cool though. A weird messed up face. I like it. It's looking down at me in agony. Thanks for sharing. Got another one here. I also tend to do this some. put weird random recognizable features in a mess of unrecognizable things, right? Got a weird little, like, looks like a bunch of pasta. Some of it looks like spaghetti, maybe some angel hair pasta, some other little noodles I can't recognize or don't know the names of. We've got a little face here. We've got an eye in the palm of a hand. I am not this good at drawing hands, and I wish I was. I think this person, I see maybe the faint traces of a pencil here, pencil line, which I think is very good. I should probably be more willing, personally, to sketch things out a little bit first, like this person probably did. But this hand looks great. I love that. The dark background really makes the rest of it pop, and I like how you polish it off with this dark black border, which I think was done afterward. Like, that's not actually part of the drawing, but it really helps presentation-wise. I like that. I like all the little wiggly, squiggly noodles. Really cool. An emotional piece here. I'm trying to figure out what is unplugged here, though. You just have this cable, right? What is this that's not plugged in? Is it an alarm clock? A phone charger? We have the darkness encroaching from one side, the lightness blasting it back from the other side. This person is looking towards the darkness, though. It's very, very emotional. One thing that bothers me a little bit, look, there's good shading on a lot of this, but then some of the things are totally unshaded. Like this water bottle looks as flat as a pancake, which I suppose is totally possible for a water bottle. I've stepped on water bottles and made them this flat before. Also, I would be terrified to put a glass of water here. Also, light is difficult to draw. Light is difficult to draw. I probably wouldn't have done much better than this myself. Probably would not have. Also, with stuff like this, where you can see like the markings and stuff like this when you're coloring it in, usually what I do when I take a picture of it or scan it in is you can just like, even with your phone, with like Instagram, other apps on the phone, there's usually like little sliders. I'm not saying you should have done this, but just like an option, like increase exposure, darkness, brightness, shadows. There's usually like little sliders you can change. Some people might consider it cheating. Lots of times, though, I just adjust these, and then like this part usually becomes a more uniform shade of black. It's just one option, I'm saying. Just one option. These hands are pretty scary, though. Really cool. Let's not go into the next picture. There we are. It's like a digital piece here. It almost looks like some sort of concept art for a video game. I like it, though. This is the type of piece you can look at for a long time and just kind of wonder about what might be going on and come up with all sorts of different ideas every time. Are they decrypting some sort of weird puzzle? You don't even know if they're good or bad, I don't know why our minds always go to that sort of idea, like, is it good, is it bad? Maybe they're just doing something. Maybe it's not good, maybe it's not bad. I like this little thing here. Whatever's going on there. The colors, the glowing. Really cool. Squid. A leaky, the eye is like leaking pus or something. At first I thought it was just something like some weird, some sort of weird pastry with a lot of cream on it sitting on the squid's lap, but I think that's actually its eye, and it's sitting on a stool. Do you think this is like some sort of marker, colored with markers? I'm not that good at coloring markers. Also, I like how this is like feathered out, the shading in the background. Oops. If anything, I feel like, if anything, I feel like could be improved in this drawing, it would be this part of the background. But I feel like this person already knows that. I feel like this happens to me with a lot of drawings. Like I do a lot of things great, and then I struggle a little bit with the background, and then it like bothers me for like a year. Like, why did I do that? But at that point, you just got to move on to the next drawing, and you store it away in your brain to like, all right, don't do it quite like that, maybe. But maybe they're totally happy with it. But that does bother me a little bit. But it's still a cool drawing. I like the veins. You know, one thing you can do is like bulge these out a little bit around the edges. Bulge it out a little bit here, you know, and then it makes it look a little bit more 3D as the veins are like going around the edge of the, whatever this part of the squid is called. Is this a squid? I like it. I like it. Some sort of futuristic soldier here. Sorry, I'm skipping around. A lot of good motion here. I like the mixture of styles here. The watercolor splash or sploosh or cloud, or maybe the person just landed or something exploded around them. I love this line work though. The face, well constructed. The hair, the hair. I feel like they probably did the watercolor this kind of the same way I do, in that they did it first and then came back in with the lines later to kind of flesh it out a little bit, give it some structure. It's a good juxtaposition, the blobby and the formlessness of the wave or the blueness here, and then the hyper detailedness of the soldier, if that is indeed what it is. I mean, it might not even be a woman. You know, it does have a pretty strong jawline there. You don't really know. I like it though. It looks like the person's holding a sword, but there's also like a scope right here. Could have all sorts of weapons. Lots of stuff to wonder about. I like that. Got a little skeleton bird on a finger. It's fun style. I guess this is probably digital, isn't it? It's hard to tell these days. Some things that look digital aren't, and some things that aren't digital look digital. Sometimes you scan things in, digitize them after you've drawn them physically, you know. It's a fun style, though. Is this really how... Do you think ribs really come from the backbone, though? Wait a second. I'm trying to figure out where my ribs come from. I don't know how birds work. This, it looks like this person probably looked at least cursorily at a bird skeleton, so they probably know better than me. I'm really curious. I mean, it feels like I have ribs back there. I have ribs in my back. It's probably fine. It's a fun style, though. I mean, I could totally see like a children's book being illustrated like this. And I like these little kind of sketchy lines that kind of come across out of the outline, because it kind of make the hand look a little slightly hairy or something. Mm-hmm. Ooh, look at that. Some sort of anguished demon. I can't tell if this is like a print or it's like a piece of paper is sitting just in front of a frame. Or it could just be, sometimes I can't tell if it's just the quality of the photo that's keeping me from telling what it really is. I like it though. The color scheme, demonic, right? You can really tell what's going on here. This person might not even have hands. How would you feel if your hands turned into these useless wings? A truly tormented soul. This one looks pretty fun. I feel like maybe the dots are a little bit rushed. Stippling. Could have been a conscious decision not to do any dots on these ones. It can just be fun to sit down and do a doodle like this, you know? Get all the little wavy wings kind of interlocking with each other. I mean, I've done lots of stuff like this before myself. It's just like you kind of lose yourself in it. Don't mind at all. Wow. I can't tell how big this one is, but it does not look small. Sorry, a little burpee. It looks like some sort of haunted coral almost, right? What do you think this is, acrylic? Got some mushroom shapes up here. Scary face in the background. Color scheme is cool. I've been drawing a lot of blobs like this myself, but this is totally taking a different direction with how colorful it is, and it's totally shaded with different, you know, like the way it's shaded with colors instead of like hash marks and textures like mine is. I like that little part right there with the little kind of like Venus flytrap teeth. Scary. Looks like something you might find in a haunted forest or something. And stay away from, of course. And it's also got that vibe of like being a mushroom, like it would be slimy if you touched it. Very, very moist and slimy. This isn't a photo with a filter on it, right? It could be a digital drawing. Or it could be a photo with a filter on it. Like a heavy filter. It's cool though, because all of it's blurry. Almost everything here is blurry except for the eyes, which are a tiny bit sharper than everything else. So it gives you a good focal point. The mouth is almost non-existent. You know, there's just a hint of a mouth. I think it probably is a digital drawing, maybe. You know, looking at a photo, or maybe had a photo underneath it or something. I don't know. Like the little wisps on the shirt. Some sort of sheer material here. Black and white was a good move, I think. This is some sort of charcoal or oil, like just black and white oil pastels or something. Oh, this is the mouth right here, I think. Grimacing. Kind of reminds me of the Balrog. It's intense. That's for sure. I can't tell if it's like glowing or if there's just like a darkness surrounding it, you know, closing in on it. These lines here look like they were either gouged into the paper or like piled up on top of it. They seem to be a totally different material than this stuff that was shaded with. But there's great like movement here. Like, I don't know, I feel like this stuff, like all these lines right here were drawn like this, right? Quickly, forcefully. With a brush maybe, I don't know. I've certainly never drawn anything like this. It's cool. I did used to draw mouths like this sometimes. That takes me back. Still sometimes, actually. This is cool. Some nice cross-hatching. Lines to create like contours, right? Would you call these contour lines? I don't know, I would. I don't know if it's the right word. The cross-hatching getting deeper and darker. Some nice shading here. Are these all eyes, do you think? there's a wide variety of different shading techniques here. By wide variety, I mean 2 types of shading techniques, hatching and stippling, I guess. But I like it. I guess it's not that surprising that I am drawn to styles that are similar to my own. Pretty sweet. This part I like with the lines coming down, so it's intersecting with the other lines here. It's just kind of satisfying, that's all. This is beautiful. Look at that. What do you think it's drawn with? Watercolor? I like how there's little splatters of black here. These golden stripes, I think those were done before or after, and then everything else painted around it. They're a great touch. It would have almost, without those golden stripes, I don't know if it would have just looked too much just like a soup of flowers, but they really kind of break it up a little bit. And this part too, how it gets all just like, turns into like a swampy blackness up there. Oh, I like the progression across it and how this little face is sticking out. To be honest, I think the face is my least favorite part. I don't know why that is. I don't know if I can put into words why the face is my least favorite part. I like that there is something there. Okay, I like that there is something there. And the face is well done. Okay, like it looks good, the shading and everything. Like I cannot do watercolors nearly this well. Like these flowers, they're blowing me away right now. They're beautiful. I love flowers. I could look at this for a lot longer. It's wonderful. Some planetary-scapes. Planetscapes. Really cool. I wonder if there's supposed to be actual planets. Like, is this supposed to be Earth over here? It's a little Earth-ish. Could be an Earth-like planet with some civilization glowing in the night. The dark side of the planet. This could be the moon. Is this the Milky Way, do you think? I don't think this is any planet I know of. This reminds me of that planet in Inception. Or maybe, I guess there's a lot of science fiction planets that are all water. There's one in Star Wars too. It's kind of scary. I don't like deep water. It does kind of bother me how this isn't like a perfect curve though. I don't know if it's supposed to be though. Like it curves here and then like takes like a sharper turn. I'm just nitpicking though. The shade of blue is beautiful. I like the color scheme on this one a lot. Mm-hmm. Well done, well done. I had to be careful. There might be a few other drawings from this person that show up because I don't know if it's this person or another person that submitted like 5 drawings when I made this tweet. I might be thinking of someone else, I'm not sure. So this seems like maybe like a quicker sketch, which I totally enjoy doing, okay? I love doing quicker sketches. Just get scribbly and loose with it. Work on like the contours and flows and get it out of your system, right? That's good. I like it. Like I could feel my hand doing these sorts of motions too, right? Get these little, what are these, like little mountain ranges? Like just get them in there. Get it all in there. Onto the paper, out of you, okay? That's where it belongs. You can bear down and do something a little bit more detailed and careful later, another time. Here we have some crazy looking tree, maybe an alienscape, or just a different take on an Earth tree. I'm sure there's a lot of crazy stuff on Earth. It could look like this, you know. I love how some of the shading is just pitch black. That's good contrast. The lines here, little cross hatching. Scraggly little clouds in the distance lend to the barren landscape. Not a leaf to be seen. Not even the idea that these clouds could ever rain and help this tree grow leaves, you know. Oof. This one took a while. A lot more squigglies. It's like some roadkill started growing, became sentient, looking to get revenge. This is something I struggle with myself too, is that when I draw big blobs like this, they inevitably end up looking like they're just almost two-dimensional, right? I mean, there's ins and outs to this, right? But really it looks like it's just like a big wall of blob. Like it doesn't look like there's really anything way like back there behind it. Like, you know what I mean? It looks like it's like growing like this instead of like this, which is okay. Maybe that is what it's doing. But I feel like I haven't solved this problem on my own either. Like to maybe make it look like it's growing like this instead of like this. You've got to have like a bunch of really completely darkened clumps behind it or something. I mean, and it's heading that direction with this little dark spot right here, but I'm not sure. But obviously, I draw stuff like this too, so I like this. It's fun to look at. This one's pretty sweet. Like this person's got their little style going here. A little skull, a little tree, another little skull and a little space helmet or something. This is one of those areas where you draw things, you don't let other things touch each other. You just kind of build off of each other. Little dots and swirls and clumps. All kind of flows together, connecting one element to the other. There's even like some hints of like a horizon and perspective and vanishing points here with these. Maybe that's what they're going for with these dotted lines disappearing off into vanishing points that would be back here. Something I would also like to work on more is vanishing points and perspective. I don't have a good grasp on that at all. Is this watercolor, you think? It's cool to do two pieces on one piece of paper. Also, I'm just like, watercolor paper has some of the coolest texture, doesn't it? I like that. Also, I like how different these two pieces of paper, these two pieces are on one piece of paper. They're completely different, but also the same, right? Like this flower thing here could be in this garden somewhere. I like that. It's like, here's the garden, and then here's one little thing we're looking to concentrate on. Or here's one little thing, and then here's where it belongs. Here's where we found it. It's in there somewhere. It's really pretty. Like the little subtle variety, the color palette of the petals or whatever. Maybe they're leaves. I don't know how flowers and plants work. I think this was taped off. I gotta get better at taping off too. And each of these petals, it looks like it was just done with like one little brush stroke, very simply. Looks like colored pencils, maybe, and regular pencils. The shading under the jaw satisfies me. Almost. I mean, I like this part. This part right here is what I like. This part right here is what I like a lot. And then right here, I feel like it's missing like a tiny something. I don't know, like reflected light or something. I don't know, obviously. I love this thing. I try to draw little weird flowing forms like that all the time. Like that. The horn doesn't really feel like it's coming through the hair, but it still looks cool. Hair, if you ever wonder why I draw completely bald people all the time, it's because hair is tough. I'm sure there's whole like classes you can take on how to draw hair. It's difficult. It's difficult. I don't know. You know? Hair, the eye kind of bothers me a little bit, you know, but that's probably the point of it. It's supposed to be bothersome. Kind of like a goat eye. Ever looked at like a goat eye? Those things are so creepy. I think this might be colored pencil also. You know, this actually kind of is really inspiring to me. The idea of just maybe doodling like I normally do, just with like colored pencil, but then just switch colors every now and then. I don't know why, but whenever I pick up a colored pencil, I think that I have to try doing all these special gradients and shadings and everything. But then maybe you can just draw like normal with a colored pencil, you know? Like this person didn't try to do anything crazy. Like whenever they advertise colored pencils, they're like, you can do, you know, all these special blends, and they sell like special blending pencils and everything. But this looks really cool too. I like that. I like that a lot. Like my good smudge also, right? Smudged it, didn't care. Kept going, still posted it. My man. Got a cat. It's pooping, it looks like. Estoy pooping? What does that mean? I'm pooping? Adorable. Is this a Scottish fold or something? I'm not like a kitty expert. It's adorable, whatever it is. Fur is difficult, but I think you did really well. Little fur textures. I like it. The color palette. Cute. Pretty. The scroll. You know, this is where I feel like it's difficult sometimes when you do a scroll like this. You didn't even really draw the top edge of the scroll, which I think it can be really tempting to. But I think it looks a lot better like that, right? So good job on that, I guess. Oh, down here it says it's muffin time. So I guess it's muffin time. Got an octopus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Got the right number of legs. Don't know what that little thing is. We got a little nubbin. I'm gonna have to check with my octopus expert person, see if this is a real thing. Otherwise, I mean, there's more of them up here. So maybe that. These are all over the place. It was just kind of a blurry picture. Okay, maybe that encourages me. You know, these. I draw octopus tentacles somewhat regularly, and I'm impressed that you took the time to draw the little suction cups. Mad respect. This looks like probably watercolor also. Bubbles we got. Little eyes, spikes. What are these? Are these the little things they use to squirt out the ink when they get scared? Got a portrait. Lip gloss is popping. I feel like maybe there might be something missing right here. I don't know though. Could just be the weird angle of the photo or the picture. Also, I feel like you probably did this part right. The weird shadow under the chin. But that's the part that scares me also. Like putting women, drawing females is challenging to do it pretty much any shading on their face, because it's so easy to start making it look like they have like a 5 o'clock shadow or something, right? It's challenging, but I think you did a good job. Also, noses are difficult, but I think you did all right. This cool digital piece. Some sort of futuristic cityscape. I like it. I like it a lot. Got your purple color scheme. Lots of nice, like, I guess these count as lens flares. I feel like this guy might be standing on a highway, though. Like, is he about to get run over, or is he standing up on something? Cool swords. I feel like this could be, concept art for a video game, easily. Like, I would play this probably, if it had enough, like, if the loot was cool enough, and if you could get cool headshots and stuff. Really sweet, though. I like it. Is this real Japanese or Chinese, whatever? Stupid American doesn't know the difference. I'm gonna guess. For some reason, this looks like Chinese to me, and this looks like Japanese. Maybe it's just a simpler Chinese characters. I don't know. Or maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's just like the random crap I draw all the time. I don't know. Looks sweet, though. Looks like maybe there's sunset. It's sunrise, maybe? Got a birdie. Was this a blue jay? Is this digital? It looks like it might be digital, but with brushes used to make it look like it's a like oil painting maybe, or pastels. Like that background, I think, is really cool. How it's like a smaller background for a larger drawing. It overlaps a little bit. Nice little brush, like the little claws. Man, I like birds. I'm a sucker for little birds. To be honest, I don't like bigger birds that much, like a nice eagle, a condor, a vulture, a heron, a goose. I don't like those that much. I like me a little blue jay, a little robin or something. I like little birds. So, big fan of this one. Okay. Oh. What do we have here? So there is presumably some sort of alien being who, first of all, I like this take on a head. Whatever is going on there, it's a little bit crazy. And there's she's I guess pregnant with the void. And this being is standing in a garden of alien beanstalks. I like it. I like it. The little outline, that's a good route to take sometimes to kind of separate the foreground from the background, kind of outline it and then color in the back a bit, This is fun, though. All the different little textures on the stalks. Go for it, go for it. Is this Precious Moments or My Little Pony? Or neither? Little twin stars. This is probably my favorite part right there, that head for some reason. Okay, we have what seems to be either a soldier or someone surviving an apocalypse of some sort. I guess not a soldier, because they have a pickup truck there. Someone just camping out, but it adds so much that you can see the outline of their gun there, right? That is a really cool effect with the lit tint and the outlines in there. I like that. I like that a lot. Personally, never, ever put your tent this close to that big of a fire. Tents, I don't know. I feel like a lot of them are very flammable, which is weird. Hopefully they've changed that recently, but I don't know if they burnt, I wouldn't say they burst into flames, but they just melt away and burn very easily. Not like it's going to explode, like, but yeah. These little sparks, that's cool. That's a good effect. Like, that's like an actual thing I've seen in fires before. You see those all the time, like, going up, you know? Really well done. The fire, I like that. Very cool stuff going on there. So whoever drew this, good job, you know. I don't know, I feel like there's another person who didn't put their Twitter handle or credit themselves at all in this, so I'm sorry. This one is interesting. Love the different textures here, you know. A combination of cross-hatching and little squiggly blob work. Just all kind of squiggled in there. Frogs do kind of have these weird little... Like, has science figured out why frogs are the way they are? Or toads or whatever is going on here? Has science figured out why frogs have teeth as big as they are? Good work on the toes. Toes are tough. I like it. And the coloring is subtle, right? Some of it isn't colored at all. And some of it, excuse me, is, you know, has like, you know, a little bit of coloring on the elbows. It looks like again, I feel like this could be in some weird, look, I feel like I've read some kids' books when I was little that had very weird drawings in them. And it's fine. It's just like, let the kids read it. It's okay if they have nightmares, you know, but it doesn't mean, it's not that this is that nightmare inducing, but there's some weird stuff in kids' books. And I can't tell if the background, is the paper colored at all? Or is it just my eyes playing tricks on me, you know? Like, is this part colored more? No, I don't think it is. It looks cool, though. I like it. Oh, I'm sitting on my leg. My foot's totally asleep. Touching my toes, can't feel it. Gotta reboot that leg. This is a good one. This is fun. More eyeballs mixed in with doodles, swirlies. Did you ever get given a swirly in school? Not me. Head's too big for the toilet. Oops. Fun job coloring this. I'm not sure if it was colored, maybe just like with different colored ballpoint pens, if I had to guess. Looks like a good time, though. The reflections on the eyeballs really do help the whole thing pop a little, you know? I feel like it would have been a lot flatter. I mean, it's, you know, flatter without that. It helps. It really does. Do you think these look like maybe classroom doodles? Oh, we got a Kawiko Sport here. Well done. Well done. Good choice. Maybe this person took the Kawiko Sport afterwards, or maybe before, you know, did a little bit of this. Get some nice ink splatters on there. I'm a big fan of that. Adds a little bit of chaotic texture there. I like these. Who knows what happened in class that day? This person can't tell us. No, I doodle a lot in class, and I think I still graduated from high school, so. And look at me today, sitting here reviewing other people's class doodles. I've really come far. Really. I like the little hairy leg. This looks like a weird spider. Whoa. Love these little circles. Wish I could get a higher res version of this. Look at that. Cool hair. Got this lined up at the barbershop, no doubt. This is cool. I like all the different types of little textury bits here. This little arm, look at that. Not sure what type of gun this is. It looks like there's a hot dog sticking out the end instead of a barrel. These lines here, very satisfying. It looks like maybe it's supposed to be like a silencer or something on the end there. The mouth. Oh, I didn't even see this before. I love how the mouth actually looks like it's going in there, right? See the teeth inside the mouth, and it gets deeper and darker. It's a great effect that I sometimes struggle with, you know? The lips disappear in a weird way. Creepy. It's all right. It's all creepy. Very creepy drawing. I like it a lot. The inside of the ear, it's creepy too. Just eerie. Something like, it looks like there's almost something coming out of the nose. Wow. Got a whole story here. Not sure what the story is saying, but there's definitely something going on, some sort of. It says, and creation eased his lonely heart. I think that's the artist creating things. This type of thing you could look at for a long time. Oh, there's a whole, you know, excuse me, homage to Starry Night here, it looks like. That's pretty sweet. I like that little effect. There's a vast combination of styles here. I mean, they're all still ink drawings, but I like how these clouds disappear into the hatch marks. That's cool. I might have to try that sometime. I've never really done anything like that. There's an eyeball lost in there. Little contraption. Where have I seen this sort of thing before? That looks familiar. It almost looks like the way things were shaded in like old Mickey Mouse cartoons or something. Might be confused about that though. Some nice parallel lines here, or at least close to it. I like those. Once again, you know, what else? These big areas can be very difficult to shade. So, you know, if you want it just to look a little crisper, just edit your photo a little bit in some like little app on your phone, whether it's, you know, I use Instagram mostly. When I post it to Instagram, I just like edit the shade or the shadows a little bit, and then it all kind of disappears into one overwhelming shade of black. Maybe it's cheating, maybe it's not, but then, you know, you can't see all these individual hatch marks, you know. I mean, I've even seen, you know, like Mobius, one of my artists that I really like. He would, I think, use like a brush and ink to shade in these. But if you look at the originals, but not the ones that get printed in books, you know, but the originals, just photos of the originals, you can tell that. You can see the little marks he makes. It's not a uniform level of black, so you're not really doing anything wrong here. I'm just trying to, just tips, I guess. Cool drawing, though. I see you're experimenting with different little styles to shade things. Squiggles, swirls, lines, hatch marks, dots, checker boxes. Keep it up. All exploding outwards. Looks like we have a painting of a meat locker with some sort of commentary. Got the PETA tag there. Not really sure what it's supposed to mean, putting that there. They're saying PETA did this, or are you going to send it to PETA? I don't know, maybe I'm just too dumb to get it. You're just angry. I want meat. Can't stop me. The meat looks meaty. It looks meaty, though. It does. Ribs look ribby. Not sure about these veins, though. They don't take away from it, though. Just as long as I don't look too closely at the veins. Now, this part, no, I think he did good with this stuff that I guess it's supposed to be fat. Fat is a weird thing in meat, you know. it looks fatty. So cool. So this is like a face, digital. I like this. Should use like a very big, blurry brush here for this part. The lines are crisp. I like that. And then how you shaded in next to the lines here to make it look a little bit, 3D. Give it some texture. I feel like I could run my hands across it, like a sculpture and feel all the little indentations and stuff. It's pretty sweet. I don't know. I feel like something's lacking though. Like I just don't really know. I don't know. Maybe it's this orange bit over here. I just don't really know what it's for. This is cool. I like this though. I feel like this part right here would make a cool iPhone background or something, like a cool lock screen. The speckles and everything. This is a cool combination of doodles. Use a white pen here to add some speckles, maybe. Gel pen or something. I don't know if these are real letters or not. Playing around with combining textures and lines, a little brain thinking, more textures and lines. I guess they all kind of maybe go together. Like this person, this is that person's hand. They're spouting out doodles. No, maybe these two go together and these two go together. I'm not sure. Whoa. This probably took forever. I feel like the weakest part of this might be the eye in the middle. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't know if that was drawn first or afterwards, but if I drew something like this, all these incredibly intricate, vines and lines and stuff, I feel like I would be terrified to, it's just like the fact that it's not like at least closer to a perfect oval, or I don't know what you call an oval with points on the ends, but you know what I mean? Like I find myself looking at this and being frustrated by how it's just like I'm just being nitpicky, but that's just like where my eye is drawn to and I get frustrated. I do like the weird explosion shape in the middle. It's cool though. I like it. I'm just coming from my own experience and getting frustrated with my own drawings. That's all. You know what I mean? Nothing you can do about it now except move on to the next drawing. Art can be frustrating. I don't mean to discourage you. It's a cool drawing. This one is pretty crazy looking. I don't even know where to start looking. Obviously for some reason, it looks like boats. Looking at boats from the top down is the first place my eyes went to. I don't know if that's really what they are. And then I looked at this guy smoking like a literal drainage pipe, maybe. More boats. A weird map. More faces. Looks like people. Or some sort of great mechanical monoliths lost in an industrial wonderland. Does this say anything, do you think? I see the word boob, maybe. A collection of eyes. It's like an eye junkyard or something. Once again, I wish I had a higher res picture of it, but they don't come that good off off Twitter. Really interesting to look at. Really cool. Love how some of it's slightly more high texture here and there. Maybe that'd be one thing for next time, maybe add more of these areas where there's higher texture. These areas are difficult where you're drawing on the margin. I mean the inner between the pages. I still can't remember what that's supposed to be called. The hem? No, that's not it. Sweet drawing, though. Really cool. Just kind of, I mean, obviously, you know, it's the same reason I draw stuff like this, is I just kind of love lines like these. This is pretty. Is it like oil pastels or something? It's on a piece of paper. I kind of like it a little bit more when I blur my eyes. I mean, it's already kind of a blurry picture, but if I don't look directly at it, like if I do one of those stereoscope images, you know, with the hidden things, and I'm like, I wonder if this was done on site, out there looking at this little mountain range. It's not actually that blurry though. Like there are some very fine lines, like right here, these little tree trunks and stuff. I like the color scheme a lot. Like the red, there's red trees on this bright green mountainside. Different shades of blue and even brown in the sky. It's kind of funky. It makes me wonder how close it is to how it really looked out there. I like it a lot. You think it's just acrylic maybe on a piece of paper? Is that a thing? Do people do that? I know you can get paper, you can get canvas paper. I'm not sure what it is. I like it though. I like how there's some of the white paper poking through. This one's pretty interesting too. It looks like album art, especially this red splotch here. Either album art or something you'd see in like a hotel lobby, you know, like really big. Like this would be like 5 feet across, you know. It's got some powerful shapes in there, colors. I don't really know what I'm looking at as far as what size, shape, medium, you know. This could have been the size of a postage stamp for all I know. Or it could have been huge. I'm thinking it's closer to postage stamp size though. I like it though, especially the circle. And no, all of it goes together well, for me at least. It's so far away from anything I've ever done personally, you know, that I find it hard to, you know, recommend what to fix on it though. That's where I kind of fall short. This one's pretty sweet. Of course, I love the textures, the lines, crisscrossing. Some of them are only like slightly different angles to set them apart from each other. Very, what do you call this? One-dimensional view? Two-dimensional, maybe? Is one-dimensional just a dot? Or is that zero-dimensional? Two-dimensional. X, Y. Two-dimensional. Is this like a beacon, a flame up top here? It's a cool thing, though, drawing a little... texturing all the little bricks and stuff. And then just cutting it off at the bottom with squiggly line of the landscape. And I like this part too. Yeah, this must be a some sort of bonfire here, and how the light, the brightness of the bonfire cuts off. You can't see what's behind it. I like that choice. I like this one. Squigglies swirling together. This one just looks like it would have been fun to do is all. I feel like this is one of the ones where I would have done it, I would have loved doing it, and then I would have not enjoyed how it turned out. Even though I enjoy how this one turned out. These are ones where I feel like I set myself up for failure somehow. Like I'm just like having the greatest time, and as soon as I stop and look back, I'm like, oh, what was I doing? Why am I doing art? You know, I'm not trying to say anything bad about this one in particular, but I just enjoy drawing lines like this, and I think this person does too. Cool little You know, it's good to mix in these bolder, stronger lines like that. I like the tile in the background, the receipt. What are these called? Furbies? This is exceptionally vibrant. How do I make things this vibrant? Was this edited afterwards, you know? Did they crank up the saturation, you know, on Instagram or whatever? Or can you draw things? Are there markers that actually pop off the page like this, you know? I like the little, you know, probably a gel pen here. Little texture like that. Little succulents up here. Cactuses. Crown of succulents. I think it would make a good sticker, you know? Crop it out, upload it as a sticker, put it on your notebook or your water bottle or your car or whatever. I feel like, do you have to have like Copic markers and stuff to do like the subtle shading like this? The green going into the yellow, the purple going into the orange, going into the greenish yellow. It's well done. And then this just overpowering pink back there. I guess it's pink. Sometimes I have a hard time telling pink from purple. Maybe this is pink, and then this is purple back here. That's what I would say. I don't know. These are cool sketches. This is probably my favorite one right here. I don't know what it is about this nose, but all of these, I like how they have so much. I like how the bodies have body to them, right? This just like the way they're. Like I feel like I could reach out and wrap my hand around this head. It feels like this guy, it feels like he actually exists, you know, in 3D space, more or less. This part right here, this ear, this eye, the little eye cavities, you know, it's really cool. The way the hair curves around. I like these sketches, really loose, really quick, fast on Post-it notes. Cut out the Post-it notes. Pretty sweet. I gotta sketch with pencil more. There's obviously a lot of possibilities to it. This one is sweet. Look at this. I love this. Weird swooping, intersecting lines. I love parallel lines. You know, even I call these parallel lines, even though they're not parallel. Some of them are, you know, intersecting and stuff, but I just kind of call that parallel lines. Swooping, swirling waves. Well, something that look like cables, you know, connecting it all. Obviously, another drawing kind of similar in style to the kind of stuff I do. So it's not surprising that I like it. But I do like it. So sue me. I like it. Lots of little... It almost looks like maybe it's underwater or something because there's all this stuff floating around, right? I'm not sure. Could be anywhere. It's fun. I don't know. It's just fun to look at for me. Oof. You guys see this? Pencil? Expertly shaded? Oh, I want the high-res version of this one, huh? Looks like the type of thing you'd see on like a high-fashion shirt or something. I don't know. Weird little things reaching out to each other, barely connected, like this right here. For some reason, that's like, I love that little point right there. And this little orb, little swirls reaching out and touching it. Little flowers. Vines. I wonder how many different types of pencils was used in this, you know, like different types of hardnesses. Because sometimes I get a little bit overwhelmed and I just use one type of pencil. Because I don't know, I'm like, should I just use the light now or the middle hardness or my softest hardness? Really well done though, obviously. Look at that. It looks almost like a wood carving to me. It's kind of, it makes me a little uneasy for some reason, the way it's like constructed and balanced. How this almost center point is like a little bit below center, and then there's all this stuff at the top. Of course, I could be looking at it like sideways or something. I'm not sure. It's maybe a little bit better that way. I don't like that. I actually like that a little bit better. That might be my favorite way to look at it for some reason. I'm not sure which way is the correct way though. This might make me less uneasy. And this way it's shaded from the top, like there's just like regular sunlight shining on this little orb maybe. Maybe that's correct. Don't actually know though. This looks like maybe another, some more class notes, you know, whenever they just think of a word, they put it in here, who knows, but maybe not. And just because I say class notes doesn't mean I'm saying it's any less art, okay? No, maybe this is all car sports related stuff, isn't it? I remember having a Momo sticker on my car in Need for Speed Underground 2. Riders on the storm. Yeah, it's like all car stuff. Initial D. Do I see that anywhere? It's pretty sweet. I mean, it's a fun little style. I like it. More skids. Friday. You know, this kind of thing where it makes me think it's like a class notes. She's like, oh, so glad it's Friday. You just write Friday on there. 420, you know, spoon sports. I'm confused, are you? See, I used to write all this sort of stuff in my notes when I was in class. Just write words. Whatever you're like thinking, whatever you're feeling, just put it in there and just doodle around it. And whenever you feel like putting another word in there, just put another word in there. Maybe this guy was just thinking about car sports a lot. I like it though. I like this. I'm into this sort of thing. This one's pretty crazy. This pastels, do you think? It was kind of chalky, kind of pastel-y. I like the contrast between how grim and dark and messed up, you know, like the face is, the mouth is totally obliterated, you can barely see the eyes, and then the shirt, maybe it's like a hoodie here, is also messed up, but so much more colorful. And the whole thing, I'm sure this is finished, but it has that feeling of unfinishedness to it. You know, you can see like some sort of undersketch here. See, there's some texture drawn underneath, maybe with some pen. No, I like that style. It's kind of like the rough. It's rough. I think there's something there. I do. I really do. Wow. I love the color theme. I don't know, even if there is a color theme, I don't know. Every color might be in this. Also, the weird, I don't know, can I say Picasso-esque lack of proportions here? You know, like there's like probably a million different vanishing points in this. The cat, you know, like what's going on here? Oops. I skipped it. Went back. Hold on. And I do really enjoy how there's like there's like a collage of materials in here, as well as a collage of perspectives and colors. And like, is this like a ghost of a cat? I like this immensely. Like this heel, the cards. I can see another room back there. Are those guitars? I feel like this is like a taken out of a guitar magazine, you know, that I don't know. There's like another person back there. Did they even paint that, or is that from something they cut and pasted in here and then painted over? I really don't know. It doesn't really matter, but it looks sweet. What about that little stool? Is that cut and pasted also? They're like leaning on it. It's awesome, whatever it is. Big fan. It's a pretty intense picture. Is this color? Is this watercolor, you think? First of all, I can never get my watercolor blacks this black, if this is indeed watercolor, without tearing up my paper. Maybe I'm using the wrong kind of paper, but obviously, don't look away right now if you're offended by nipples. This is obviously an incredibly well rendered body. Like, I feel like I can render this part. The torso, I've been to a few figure drawing classes, and I feel like this is maybe the part I'm okay with, but then the limbs, arms, and like thighs and legs are my weak point. Maybe these legs are a little big, but like I said, I am not an authority on this, and I am not good at it. They're incredibly well shaded, at least to me, even if they are a little big, but it looks amazing. I like the splatters. I like the blood splatters on here. It all looks so crisp. The fingers look amazing. I'm not sure what's going on here, but I'm not sure if we're supposed to be sure what's going on here. I guess this is like the inside of the body. There's a subtle red shading around it. It's pretty sweet. And I like how it's like how it's framed, you know. Kind of just the void emptiness around it. It's the figure's sitting but not on anything. I don't know. It's pretty weird. I don't know. This one, another very vibrant drawing, painting. Is this the tools they used right here, do you think? Is that a colored pencil? Could be crayons for all I know. You can do great things with crayons. I like it though. Now there are, I used to go to the Art Institute of Chicago all the time. There's like a little gallery I go into. There are drawings that look similar to this, and it actually said crayons. Done with crayons, you know? So, I mean, I'm not saying this person did this with crayons. It could have been, colored pencils, pastels, something, who knows? But it really pops. I like it. I don't know what it is. I'm probably missing something obvious. I draw things all the time. People are like, you're drawing a face. So this person could have drawn a face, and I have no idea. Maybe this is like a nose. Maybe this is the nose. Maybe this is a nose. Maybe this is an eye. I don't know. I mean, I've been sitting here looking at it for like a minute already, and I'm not bored. So I feel like that's a good accomplishment. Just like the way the little different chunks of colors are chunked together. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh. Sorry, you guys don't mind if I slouch down a little bit, do you? I'm also getting a little bit hungry. I've been sitting here for at least 10 minutes. Starving at this point. This one reminds me of those double exposure photographs people take. You know what I'm talking about? They combine two photos. It looks awesome. It's like there's a drawing of this vase, this planter, this pot with leaves and plants, right? And then there's another drawing also combined with it, sketched. behind it in the background, in front of it, who knows? Other plants and orchids or something. Tulips or something? I don't know. It looks cool though. I like the combination of the two styles. I don't know if it's really two styles, but another one that I'm just happy to sit here and look at for a few minutes, which I think is really all I want out of art sometimes, just something to sit and look at, something I've never really seen before. That's really all I want sometimes, just to sit and look at. Some eye candy, some brain candy, something to get either visually or mentally lost in, and this really accomplishes that for me. Some more flowers, some more plants, vibrant red rose, probably markers of some sort with some, colored in a little bit deeper, and then some stippling to help it out. All offset with these sharp black lines in contrast, black and white. I like this little effect. The lines get closer. It looks good. These rose petals can be challenging to draw. I think it turned out pretty well. The way they all swirl together like that. I think when this person drew this, they had some severe misunderstanding about the way that stockings work. Or are these like pantyhose maybe, or just thigh highs? They have them on their arms too. Are the claws, like what is this? Or are these just little garters? Maybe we're not supposed to understanding. At least put a little garter, like a garter belt on. Is it a her? Put a little garter belt on it to hold these up, I just don't know how they're not sliding right off at these thick thighs. Yeah. You can see that they sketched it all out though. You see the little guidelines here? Sketchy. They drew little bones in before they started penciling it all in. This was thought out. This was premeditated. I don't know about the shading on the head though. I don't know about this. It's challenging to shade a face. It's challenging. Huh. For some reason, the first thing that popped out to me about this one, besides the words in the background, which appear in multiple ways, right, was the piercings. I like how kind of crisp they are. I think I would have fallen in the same trap with this one. It's just the challenge of the hand. I don't think I could have done the hand much better. That's maybe, I feel like, the weakest part of this. But I love how it's kind of like a weird graffiti-ish color style, right? Color theme, like the way it's all kind of blocked in there, scribbly. Might have even used graffiti markers for some of this. I don't know. And the way the words are drawn on there. Lots of words in there. Probably even more words we can't see that were all painted over for the same effect, the fact, maybe the hope that you could just barely see some of them. It's a cool style, I like it. Very emotional, just scribbling in there with different stuff. I mean, I didn't even notice some of these until just now. You keep looking, you keep seeing more stuff. Pretty cool. Oh yeah, no, I see the graffiti markers up here. I see those. Got a little sea turtle with a pearl necklace. Do you think this is supposed to be some sort of commentary on how sea turtles get, sea life gets damaged and, sea turtles strangle on trash we throw in the ocean, but in this sense it's getting strangled by something we made from oysters or clams or whatever. Precious pearls. I'm not sure. Maybe it's just supposed to be a pretty turtle. And it is a pretty turtle. Quite beautiful. Great job on these fins. Great job. I like it. A blocky portrait. You know, I like chokers. I think they're coming back, and I hope they come back in a strong way. I just think they look great. That was just my personal opinion on fashion. But I like the kind of take all the shading and over super simplify it, turn into these. It's like you ever have that game when you were little that you could like make things out of different geometric wooden blocks, like you get your rhombus and your trapezoid. It's like the person did this with shading. I don't mind it at all. Got a little yin-yang mandala here. I can get down with it. Got a little bit sloppy, though. But other than that, this little curve. If you're gonna draw yin-yang, at least get that S curve right. He started here maybe, drawing up the S. Took a right turn, right? If you take this right turn, you're gonna want to take a left turn and keep turning left until you reach the circle again. But then this person made the critical error of turning right again, right before they reached the circle. So 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. This one's pretty cool. I like weird little amalgamations, collages of faces like this. I feel like maybe they're doing like a little exercise, face practice, and then colored in with the hatch marks. Do you think this is a brush marker? Brush pen? I feel like this is the type of thing maybe you do when you're sitting around watching Netflix or something, but you don't want to feel like you're totally wasting your time watching Netflix. You're just like, yeah, let me draw some faces. Maybe the faces you see in your Netflix show. I don't know. Maybe this part. This stuff is perfect to do. This hash marks back here, hash, whatever the heck they are. This is the perfect sort of thing to do while watching Netflix, I think. I like that though. I mean, this looks like the type of art you could see in like a comic strip or a graphic novel or something. Oof. All right, this was just kind of weird and scary until I saw these. Oops, my goodness. Until I saw these legs over here, and then it became absolutely terrifying. I feel like there could be like a whole story behind this thing that I don't know. Are these computer monitors over here or picture frames? He broke his egg. He's barefoot, but his pants just kind of taper off into bare feet. So maybe he's not wearing pants and he just has very brown legs. He's frumpy. He's all alone. The light is pouring down onto his head and bouncing off his poor little forehead. And I'm not sure what's going on here. It tells a story, an unknown story. I like it. I have to sneeze, by the way, so I might do that sometime soon. Oh, excuse me. All right, drawn all with red ink. Either that or drawn with any other color of ink and then converted into red afterwards. Got safety pins, some dripping in ink. Rain clouds. Are these cuts? Hearts on a string. Oh, they're crying eyes. think these ones are also eyes crying. But it's all in red. It's all very dramatic. These look like muscles, muscle fibers. Another needle, maybe. This is like a weird ruler or something. It's pretty cool. I like it when doodles have like slightly recognizable features in them kind of mixed in. I like it when they don't also, but I like it also when they do. Oof. Sorry, my legs are falling off my leg rest. Got a lot of lines in this one. The old parallel lines. This is the type of drawing that I would start, I feel like, and then eventually I would lose heart, right? I would lose faith. I would eventually, I would start doing all of these lines and this type of thing, and then I would be like, is it really worth it? Taking all this time to do all these lines and stuff. And so eventually, I would draw like half the page full of all these little lines, and then I would do something. I would draw something across it and then just draw clouds or something that would take like a tenth of the time. And no one would know that I had even planned to draw lines behind all of it, and I would be off the hook. But this person persevered and drew lines behind all of it. But I like the little weird little ribbons too, and the lightning bolts. It's a fun thing. Well done. This is art. See? It says so. Pretty well rendered hand. Do I hold my pens like that? I feel like no one actually holds their pens like that when they're actually writing. It's more, it's not like they're actually writing. This is like a relaxed pose. I feel like maybe the word art was added as an afterthought, but maybe not. It's still cool. Still cool. I would totally do something like that too. I'm not saying. I'm just thinking out loud. That's all. I like how dark this is in here to give it body. This is good shading. I think this is shaded too. I can't tell if this is actually shaded with the charcoal where this is drawn with, or if this is like just the dark paper and the lighting from the camera or whatever. It's like maybe a Pigma micron or something. I don't know. This person said this is done in some sort of app. Looks almost like 8-bit art, some sort of pixel art. I like that. I like that feature with just like, you can see like the little dots back there. You see that? Little dots. All of it's little dots. I mean, I guess everything is little dots when you look at it on a computer screen, but it's just more obvious here. This frog looks sweet, to be honest. Really cool. Then you got like the building on top of there. Very fantastic. Start wondering, when we present a thing like this, you start wondering about all the backstory, all the forward, what used to happen, what might happen, how this came to be, why they're there. It's a cool thing about the drawing, that sort of thing. And it looks great. I'll have all the little texture and the shading in the background, yeah. The little dots, Got the Braille background. Interesting way to take this photo. No, I'm just kidding, right? Looks pretty sweet. Chunks of lines separated by blackness. Pretty sweet. Plenty of parallel lines for me to enjoy. I'm not really sure what to say. I like this. I like how it looks like it's splintering apart. This looks like some sort of weird bulbous Thor's hammer. A little bit lightning-y. A lot of lightning going on here. It's fun how it looks like there's different stuff going on. The more I look at it, the more little things I find, you know. Thank you. Whoa. This is very dark. Literally dark. And also, the content of it seems dark. Some sort of demon, I guess. A dark dragon of some sort. It's pretty cool how it looks like almost the only, the brightest parts of it, of the whole drawing, are coming, are inside the body of this. Kind of like another one that reminds me of the Balrog in Lord of the Rings, I'm not saying everyone's copying the Balrog. Now that I mention it twice, I feel like it sounds like I'm saying that, but glowing from the inside, and then a little subtle light from like way back here somewhere, it lit up the back edge of the tail. Some lighting up this maybe, but oh, sorry, that's my foot falling off something. I really like this, how this tail was lit up like that. Maybe it'd be cool if some of like the hair, is this hair on its back? Maybe it'd be cool if like some of that was lit up also. Because I can't really tell at all what's going on back here. It's just almost too dark, but that could be okay. It's okay for things to get lost in the dark. That's how it is in real life. I haven't run into these in real life yet, but I'm sure when I do, it'll be hard to see what's going on. Lurking in the shadows like that, glowing from the inside. This looks like it's maybe a print of some sort, you know what I mean? Like a linotype or something, I don't know. I've been trying to get into prints lately, but it's, it's like a whole different set of supplies you need. And some of them you need like special supplies. Acids and printing presses and blocks of sorts. What time is it? Almost 3:15. Guy sitting here, the hat and a gas mask. Maybe smoke pouring out of the gas mask. Ironic, right? He has notebooks in front of him, maybe. It's pretty cool, though. I like all the shadows and contrast. I think it turned out well. I'm not sure. Whenever there's something like this, like a clock so prominently featured in there, it makes you wonder if you're missing something. Am I supposed to notice something about what time it is? Or maybe just the fact that there's a clock there and he's waiting. Or she. These remind me of radishes or something. This is like I don't know what these are. They're cute. Whatever they are. Is it radishes I'm thinking of? I don't know. I feel like I'm thinking of something else. I like the little spacescape. The stars are well done. They're floating around out there with their little poofy green tails and their little space helmets. You did well rendering. Glass can be difficult to render, like which part of it should be clear, which part of it should have like reflections and stuff on it. I don't have all the answers for that. Even this, you got a little bit of the space behind it in there. It looks cool. Whoa. This is crazy. This guy, okay, let's break this down. He's got a whole city on his back. There seems to be maybe blood or spirits or slugs seeping out from under his shoes. I feel like it's maybe like the blood spirits of his enemies squirting out because he's standing on like a pile of corpses. But also there's like, he's got multiple weird bloody hands gripping multiple swords. All of these things have like little eyes on them, right? I don't know what's going on here, but it's definitely cool to look at. Well rendered, well drawn, like the different line weights and widths. Like this pile of corpses, very light lines, so that you look more at this guy, like he's still standing on it, and the stuff in the background, just light touches, so you know it's receding into the background. If these were heavy lines right here, you'd be concentrating on it way too much, I guess. It's really cool. I like the shoes. And the whole idea of having all these buildings on his back is fun. And these letters, obviously, not real Japanese or Chinese or whatever. I feel bad that I guess if it's a samurai, that's Japanese, right? Wait. I'm such a terrible person that I don't know. No, I watched The Last Samurai with Tom Cruise. Pretty sure that was Japan. I don't even know if this is supposed to be a samurai. But I like, what I'm trying to say is I like these weird snaky symbols, okay? Can we just leave it at that? Whatever these are, I like them. And these weird little blood spirits, as I call them. As I will decide to call them. Thank you. Thank you for tolerating how much I don't know. Wow. I also really like this one. Some parts of it looks really like a cityscape, and then other parts of it look really just like a couple of knives sitting there, and other parts of it just look like maybe a piece of some chunks of painted wood. I want to paint stuff like this. It reminds me of a couple of Picasso paintings I've seen. I like this a lot, actually. I like it a lot. What is this? You know, is this oil? Is this oil? You know, you can do so much and not have to use a lot of colors. Lately, when I've been painting, I've been using like every color. But this is just like white, cream, gray, black, a hint of red here and there. And then it looks like maybe colored out, drawn over with some lines, Was this like charcoal? Was this pen? This looks like maybe, just like some white pen or I don't know. I like it a lot though. Especially like this area right here. This area down here. These chunks and gaps. I don't know, I just like it. Big fan. This one's pretty sweet. I like this part of the face. I just gestured to the whole face. I meant like this part at first, but then as I kept on looking at it, I liked more and more of it. Maybe not, the eyes are maybe the weak point for me. Eyes are difficult. But they don't ruin it for me. Maybe, as long as I don't look at like this part of the eye, then it's okay. I like the color scheme though. Purple jacket, bluish purple background. It's a cool aesthetic. The weird glowing motion lines around it. Is this a mole? It's a mole right here. So human. So human. I like it. Oh. These are fun to look at. These like lines kind of always remind me of flotsam and jetsam. Some kind of driftwood, right? I love driftwood. And incredible stippling here. I like doing that with stippling, leaving gaps like circles, then drawing around it. Contours. A little gap like that too is always fun. You got to work with your negative spaces, I guess what they call it. Really great stippling. I can tell you took your time. I can tell you took your time with the stippling, right? None of your dots turned into lines, because you can tell when someone's is rushing their stippling, because they're going like this, and then some of their dots turn into like tiny lines, which is fine. You can do that if you want to, but you can also tell when someone's taking their time, and all of their dots are dots, except for sometimes some of their dots look like lines just because they put two dots too close to each other, and then they buddy up and look like a little line. That's okay. That happens to me too. But you can even avoid that if you slow down even more. But you know, we're all going to die someday. You don't have time to slow down that much sometimes. Who knows? Maybe this one's supposed to be rotated like this. Okay. See, if I hadn't rotated that one, I might have never noticed that this is supposed to be some sort of raven or eagle or something. Okay. It's no blue jay, but it's still a pretty sweet looking bird. Oh, this is probably also supposed to be a bird eye. I feel like it's the edge of the eye here is. I like it. I mean, I like these almost wooden swirl. Like it looks like kind of like contours in wood that you'd find in a piece of wood, right? Like wood grain. Is that the right word? Yeah. Now, don't hate me if I say that I think this might be rushed, okay? Like I feel like when you were doing these lines, you were going like this, when maybe it would have looked 5 times or 10 times as good if you would have just taken only twice as long to draw the lines. That's just my opinion though, right? Last time I said something like that in a video, people were like, but Peter, I think maybe it looks better sketchy. That's fine. You think that. I'll think this, okay? Right? Still a cool drawing. Still turned out looking cool. I mean, I like the flow of it. Would have been cool maybe if, you know, the paper had been bigger, but you can't do anything about that. But sometimes it's good to have it cropped off. That's a good art. I mean, that's an artistic thing right there. You know, things get cropped off all the time. Especially when you see like people taking their artsy photographs, stuff's like cropped off, and it just makes you wonder about what else could be out there. Keep it up, keep it up. I'm trying to go to the next photo here, but my program. Okay, there we go. Okay. I feel like this is the type of thing that if I had drawn it, everyone would have been like, it reminds me of Howl's Moving Castle, whatever that movie is called. I like it, okay? It does not remind me of Howl's Moving Castle. It's your own thing, and it's great. I mean, it's a little bit like Howl's Moving Castle, I guess. But this part I like. I don't know what it is, but I like that you shoved it there in the middle of it. If it's some sort of light beam or just like a big panel. A little tiny, cute little smoke puff maybe here. I don't know what that is. It's fine. You don't have to know what things are to enjoy looking at them. Like how things are propped out here, hanging down. Got gears and cogs. Well done. Walking through the clouds, or maybe these also remind me of those fields that they walk through in, was it Horton Hears a Who? Those puffy fields. Could be that too. Or whatever you want. Whoa. I feel like there is a glare. Is there a glare in this photo? I want to see this one without the glare in the middle. I can't tell if this part right here is supposed to be like a flat golden shade like this. I'm just going to assume it is, but I'm not sure. Anyone else feel like there's a glare in the middle of this picture? Obviously, this is a polished piece. I mean, they got the Rotring here. Can't imagine how long this one took. I mean, just like these weird little waves, the strands probably took a long time. The whales. I feel like you do see a lot of whales, space whales these days, but these are very well done. Very well done. I like the golden ink. The golden ink looks great here. The tree. It's a good centerpiece, I think. Like, I'm not sure what's more in the, you know, like what draws your attention first, the golden ink or the whale? Probably the whale, and then you're like, oh, there's a golden tree on top. It's very, I mean, it looks sharp. It looks really good. The contrast, the dark background, all the white dots. You must have used a white pen. It looks great, obviously. It looks amazing. Good job, good job. Spaceman doodles. Astronauts. I love this sort of thing. That is all the just astronaut outfits, all like the hoses and valves and panels and little, like buttons and switches and like just all the seams, right, on their outfits. I love that, just that, right? So I love all the little details you worked in here. I just you can just like hint at them, right, and your brain kind of fills in the rest. So I think these are cool sketches. Are these real? Are these based on reality? Like, do astronauts really have all this stuff on them these days? I mean, this looks maybe real. I don't know. Is this a gun? Do we do spacewalks these days? Yeah, we do. I've seen live streams of International Space Station that go out on the outside and fix stuff. I don't know if I've remembered all these huge backpacks. I guess they use those for thrusters or whatever. Regardless, this is pretty sweet. What do you call these? Like contour sketches or something, where you just look at a drawing and then just try to get all the shapes and lines and the feeling of it. I like it. I like it a lot. Got some drawings here. Let's see what we got. Two people sharing a noodle, maybe. Two things. This guy is walking his dogger pillar. Something shopping with amazing eyelashes. How long has it been? This guy says. He put on his hat way too far. He's watering his plant through a spout coming out of his chin. I love this weird, the weird surreal nature of these sketches. I like them. I like them. I feel like this is kind of what I imagined a Vogon to look like when I read the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy books. This guy's wondering why he can't sleep. Turn off your light. I like this, the background, how dark it is. Pretty sweet. Is this on a car seat? I bet it's on the seat of a car. Excuse me. Okay. This person, I feel like, is going for a definite style, right? Crisp, clean lines, crisp, clean shading, and then they add some texture, with some brushes, with some little flicks of paint in the background there. Do you think they use that pen tool I've been hearing so much about, where you draw like you like add the curves, and then you drag out the little splines or whatever they're called? It's not bad at all. I like how they work in the shading, around these parts, and around the eyes and stuff. That's good. I feel like there maybe could have been like a little bit more shading around this area. But like, this is so far away from anything I would ever do, I think. Maybe I would do something like this. I don't know. I don't know. No, this sort of thing, I just feel like I don't know what to say, because I feel like they're so far out on their own thing. They know what they're doing, but I dig it. I like it. So I feel like this is the second decapitated naked lady we've seen today, which is interesting. Got a girl sitting here pensively in bed with weird art on her wall. We've all been here. We've all been in this situation. There's not much else you can do besides just sit there. I love this bed sheet, though. I like all the detail put into that. The cross-hatching on the walls. a test on the laptop to find out if you're gay or not. This says I'm straight. Difficult times. Difficult times. It looks great though. Thanks for sharing. I'm trying to go to the next picture. But I can't. I'm stuck here. Aren't we all? Oh, here we have the guy from Pirates of the Caribbean. Davy Jones, is that his name? This is some intense stippling. Intense stippling. This guy was crazy in the movie, obviously. I can see why you'd be inspired to draw him with all his cool tentacles and little mitochondrial valves or whatever the heck those are. Very cool, very cool. Is this done? I can't tell if it's done with these little blank spaces in the back, but it could be very much done. It's sometimes that's a very insulting thing to say. Like when someone shows you art and then you're like, wow, I can't wait to see it when it's done. And then the person's just like, it is done. You can't tell if the person was saying it on purpose to be a jerk. Like, can't wait to see it when it's done. But anyways, it looks great so far. I love this area. Really cool. The little pock marks and everything. The texture, great. Great. Thank you. Got a fox. Is this digital? You know what some people have been doing lately that I've seen is they do those pastel drawings on like some type of fine sandpaper. I've got to find out how to do that. But so far I've only seen people drawing eyeballs for some reason. It's just a couple of drawings I've seen. Anyways, these whiskers, I love these. Those look so satisfying to me for some reason. All the fur, though, looks amazing. Is this on the sandpaper? Is this what's going on here? Is this one of those pastel sandpaper drawings? It looks great. The fur, all of it's very satisfying. The coloring, I want to pet it. I really want to pet it. Give it little scritches behind its ears, maybe. Let's go. It looks great. Really good. All right. This drawing does look pretty close to a couple of mine. I feel like I've drawn something almost exactly like this. But it looks good. Very cool. I can tell you had a good time with it. I don't know, man. There's just something satisfying to me about just like drawing. Just getting lost in scribbling little details and mixing in darker and lighter chunks like this. And I can tell that this person is enjoying it too. I don't mean to like accuse you of copying me or anything, but I mean, I like this little chunk right here. Like that. And this right here. The stippling descending into darkness. Back behind these little swirly bits. Nice. Keep it up, keep it up. Looks good. I can tell you're having a good time. This takes me back to my days of drawing lots of mandalas too, all like swirled and connected together. I bet this took you forever. I know when you submitted this, I think I read that your mom said, what if he said something mean? The meanest thing I can think to say of this is, why didn't you fill in these little gaps? If I had OCD, I would be pulling my hair out right now for not filling in these little gaps. Like this, it's so packed with detail, every square inch of this, except for this little gap and this little gap, and this little gap, and this little gap, and this little gap. It's like when you win. It's like when you win solitaire, and all the. This looks like all the cards, you know, that come bouncing down, and you're just waiting for. You just hope it fills every gap on the screen. At least it used to be when we had much less resolution, you know, smaller resolution screens. It never happens anymore, but it used to be. If you got lucky, it would fill almost the whole screen, and then sometimes little gaps like this would be left open, and I feel like that's what happened here. But obviously, nitpicking, it looks amazing. I can tell you've really poured your heart into this with all the different types of patterns and everything. It looks great. You know, people love this sort of thing for a coloring book. I mean, I put all my own drawings like this into a coloring book, and people seem to enjoy coloring it, so keep it up. Keep it up. Tell your mom I said hi. Okay, got a desert scene here in the round. Oh, is this a little encampment right here? A little campfire, a smoke plume trailing up in the sky, a little tent, some cactuses. What are these called? Are those called buttes? Are the things called buttes? Are they called buttes? Am I pronouncing it right, is what I'm saying. Not if those are actually buttes. Are those just called... What about mesas? What's the difference between a butte and a mesa? Also, why doesn't this line up? Looks great anyways. Love the stippling. And you're doing great at like stuff in the foreground looks bigger. Tiny little campground in the background, you know, disappearing farther away into... It's kind of the background, I guess. It's still technically the foreground, even though it's tiny. This is the background, maybe. I don't know. Love the sun rays. Love the round. Nice. Ooh. So I'm guessing these are digital drawings, maybe, that you printed out. Love the color theme. Kind of a rusty red color theme on a lot of these. Green hair weirdly works out in this case. That is green, right? These like little elfin goblins or something. Cool shield. Also, once again, looks like it could really be like video game concept art, you know? Or like even in like a cutscene or something, you know? Or when you're like choosing your character. I don't know. I like it. Great shading and everything. I mean, it looks like very polished stuff. Cool background too. Don't really know what else to say except that it looks good. It says Coraline, I guess. I have never seen Coraline. Is it a movie? Is it a book? So, hey, you could fool me. Looks exactly like Coraline to me, for all I know. What a cutie pie. So I can make my lips look like that too. No, it looks great. Beautiful. Absolutely great. You know, thanks for sharing. She's staring into my soul. If my soul was like right here. Got some doodles here. Swirly. Intestinal bits, tongue bits, teeth bits, eye bits. Smothered together. And that's the aortic valve or something. I'm gonna guess fine point Sharpie or something. I don't know. It's pretty cool though. I can tell you're enjoying like these lines. I'm enjoying you enjoying them. Oh yeah. I want to see the rest of them. Huh? I can't see through this piece of paper very well. Whoa. Is it bad if I ask about this one if it's done also? That's not that crazy if I ask that about this one, is it? There could be a difference between it being done and you being done with it. I would understand that with this one. I feel like I also, if I set out at first to fill in all of this with this stuff, and then I got this far, and then I thought, you know, it actually looks okay like this. If I colored all of it in with these squigglies, it would lose a lot of contrast or something like that, right? It actually looks okay. I don't know what this is. Is this like a bun or something? A clip in the hair? The face? Good facial structure, I guess. I don't know. No one ever told me what a face looks like. I like it though. Squigglies here and there. Got old man Jenkins or someone here. Does it say Neume? Is he standing in a fish scale basket of sorts? His skin is terrifying. I can see every pore staring back at me. And he's in a weird cloud. I mean, all of this raises lots of questions. Questions I need answered. Is this a character from something? I can't tell. I like it. I like the texture of the cloud with the little circles and stuff. I like the texture of everything here you've presented, actually. In the background, the deep red, this watercolor. Nice. Some sort of, is this a iguana? Bearded dragon? I don't know. Not a lizard expert. But I like the coloring, right? Different chunks of color blending into each other. I don't know if this lizard is actually like that in real life, but looks good to me. Looks good to me. Another presentation of patterns and lines swirling together at the epicenter. This part is very interesting here. Looks like a cascade of Morse code up here at the top left-hand side. I like that. It's maybe my favorite part of the whole thing. This is also cool. Kind of Morse codey also, you know, line, dot, 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 line, dot, dot. Pretty sweet. You know, both of these characters could be the same guy at different points in his life. First, he was a royal guard, right? And he served well, served loyally and royally. And then something happened, and he became some sort of representation of death, some sort of grim reaper. Maybe by way of how he died or what he died for. It's an interesting thought. I like how different both of these are. You know, this one over here has lots of lines crisply drawn out and colored in. This one has almost no lines at all. This part is very, very interesting. How it's like the only thing really rendered in there. The rest of it's just like a big shadowy blob. I like it. Is this what's going on here? Sitting here like this? I like it. The simplicity of it. The tranquil subject and executed tranquilly. I feel like I could also see this one in a kid's book. I like it, I like it. Whoa. This is intense. Wait. At first I thought there were two people here, but I feel like maybe there's just one person here holding something that's exploding, and they have lightning blasting out of their face. And the calendar is exploding. A backwards calendar, maybe? Or maybe this is some sort of lottery Keno card. I'm like 90% sure this is drawn with like Microsoft Paint or something. They're in a classroom. I like this. Wow. Just like the perspective of this, right? The classroom is disappearing so rapidly into the background, and this person's like jumping across the desks. The desks are exploding. There's a weird frog. I don't know what's going on here. Sweat droplets. Like I said, I don't know what it is, but it doesn't. You don't have to know what something is to enjoy it, right? Love it. Makes me want to draw MS Paint again. It's been a long time. Very cool. Very cool. You know, you don't have to draw everything carefully for it to be amazing, right? It's kind of a crude rendering, but still incredibly interesting to look at. It's difficult to find that line sometimes with where it's where it's okay to be sloppy and it's still not like fresh. Sometimes you look at things, it's like if it had just been like a little bit less sloppy, I wouldn't have been less frustrating to look at. But like if this had been neater, it might have been less interesting. I don't know. I don't have all the answers, but I love the level of polish on this, is what I'm saying. I love it. I love this sloppiness. Ooh. This watercolor, I love how there's the border and then the tail's going over it. Kind of a shark whale tentacle-y thing. Obviously the ship is doomed. The ship, I feel like, is... I like the ship because it gives a sense of scale, but I feel like it's a little... Maybe, I don't know. Could have worked on that a little bit more or something. I don't know. Maybe my least favorite part of it. Still like it though. Love the clouds. The stormy crashing. The clouds are almost as crazy as the rest of it, right? It's a terrible night for sailing. Unless this is why they're here. I love this part of it too. All these lines here, the mouth, these teeth. It looks great. The lines slanting through the water, the bubbles. Really cool. This blanket, these curtains, this is a tapestry or blanket. Like this also. I want that. Ooh, we got some bird action. Someone tell me how to tell if these are crows or ravens. Love this bird. I'm not sure what's going on here. What is this? But I love how sketchy this is, like how wispy these lines are. Is this like an ink brush or maybe a brush pen of some sort? I really like how it turned out. There's a little bit of touch-up maybe with a white pen of some sort. And the backgrounds are great. Yellow, goldenish background. Put a nice one little line right there. Brings it together. I do like how there's like a touch-up right there with scribbling in some white lines. I mean, it doesn't bother me that much, whatever's going on here. It just confuses my head a little bit. So I can't really... Like, all of it makes sense except for what's ever going on right here. Maybe it makes sense in y'all's mind. I'm just looking at it wrong, right? I can't tell what's going on with the beak or the mouth or something. I don't know. Maybe it's not supposed to make sense. Maybe it's supposed to make my brain stutter and stumble a little bit, and that's okay. It's fine. But yeah, I love the texture of the feathers and the rest of it. It's good. Got someone. Well, I was about to say, I think they're walking towards the light. But I guess if they're walking towards the light, then the shadows would be all different. It's an interesting piece. I like, the color scheme. The background is cool. I mean, do you think their head is glowing? Is that what's going on here? I feel like the shadows of this are the difficult thing to figure out. I'm not sure how I would have fixed it, though. I mean, shadows are tough, especially on human bodies, and especially if this is like some sort of mystical light coming from almost nowhere. Like, what do you do? Just imagine this is a lamp, and I don't know. Looks good, though. I mean, the proportions seem pretty good. "101 Pooh Poems" by Dr. Deuce. Okay, this one, it's, you gotta sit back and figure out, is this, I like it. It looks like two people kind of morphed together. What do you guys think? I kind of wish it maybe didn't go up so far. Like, maybe I wish it was like cut off like right here. But I love this part. Love this. These two kind of facial shapes are morphing. It's something kind of dream-like, right? And here, look, another one drawn on, it's painted on a piece of graph paper, which is weird to me, but it looks great. Looks really good. Yeah, it looks like, maybe it looks like a woman with long hair, and then like a man with short hair, maybe morphed together. You can maybe see his eye here. His ear. Is this a hand maybe? Or maybe it's part of a neck? I'm not sure what's going on here, but it makes you wonder, and it's weird. Yeah, I like it. The facial, yeah, I enjoy the skin tones here. So if I remember correctly, the person who submitted this commented saying that this is a fairly large piece. Like, I could be totally incorrect, maybe like several feet wide, right? Maybe like 4, 5, 6 feet wide, I'm not sure. So it's a big piece, and I think it looks great. Especially, I like this part. This part looks great. This part I adore. Especially like how this white shading here around the edges is, I love that. The shading of this, was this like a woolly mammoth skull? I have like a piece of fuzz in my mouth. How these two things are rendered, I really enjoy. It's like a space station. It's like a juxtaposition. Something extinct and something from the future, I guess. Is that the idea? They look great. But then what I don't like as much is these things look so 3D, right? So 3D. These things are popping out of the page. But then this stuff here on the bottom, they're like choking up, they're like pumping up smog and fumes. Maybe this is supposed to represent the present, and this is the past, and this is the future. I don't know. I'm projecting my own thoughts onto this. But this looks so, like maybe like an afterthought, or just half done compared to this stuff. You know what I mean? It looks like it took only like a fraction of the effort was put into these buildings down here that was put into this stuff. I feel like it takes away from how cool this is, that these are just like the equivalent of, you know, drawing, you know, I don't know, like drawing stick figures on the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. I'm obviously getting carried away, but I mean, I think there's obviously something to this idea, but I feel like these buildings could be rendered so much better. They look flat, one-dimensional, when this stuff looks so three-dimensional. And obviously that can be that artist's choice. And you can disagree with me, but I don't like it, these little things. I love this part, okay? Love it. As a whole, still great. That's my critique. I'm terrible at critiquing because I feel awful for saying something about a painting, a drawing that they can't go back and fix now. I guess they just have to go back and do it differently in the future. I don't know. All right, so this person also submitted a video. Basically what you're supposed to do is put different films over it. You put a blue film over it and a red film over it, and you either see one or the other image, right? I guess you could also put on those stereoscopic red and blue glasses and close and open one eye, and you just see one or the other image, which is a pretty cool idea. It's pretty sweet. I don't have the video for you here though, but if you go find them on Instagram, you could probably see it. Pretty sweet though, pretty cool idea. I don't know if it's done digitally or otherwise, or maybe done traditionally and then converted to digital, or how they do it, but it's a cool idea. I've seen this before. I know someone here in Greensboro that has done some murals like this of blue and red combined, and then I don't know if people are supposed to bring their own glasses or if they have some mounted in front of it. You can see they're like double exposures of different things. It's a fun thing. It's cool. And this is really it's like really sharply done. So it does bother me a little bit that the skull is almost going past the edge of the skin here, but I guess that's just a picky matter of lining these up correctly. It looks good. I love the texture of the hair here too. The hair is really well done. I'm no good at hair. Or faces for that matter, or skulls. Okay, here we have an interesting piece of eyeballs. Eyeballs connected in some way. I'm not really sure what to say, but it's definitely interesting to look at. Like I feel like they're definitely like 3D eyeballs glued on there, you know, painted, or some maybe they're like ping pong balls glued in half or something, then painted on, and then they're like connected and stuff. I don't know. It's cool. It's a cool idea. Definitely never seen this sort of thing before. Cool idea. Oh, we got some underage. We got the underage Jewel Gang shirt that says, "Addiction is cool. Hitting a jewel." That says, "Let me hit the jewel, bro. I know you got it." And then we also have a different drawing on the opposite side of the page leaking through, which is interesting because that means this must have also leaked through the other side for them to draw around it on the other side. This person also posted the other drawing from the other side, but I'm just trying to do one post from each person or something like that. I don't know, but I like this style of drawing. I like this, like like the outline, the contours, subtle shading, just every now and then here. Add some shading, the lines. I don't know. It just looks good. Everything's almost proportional, but still a little bit off, right? Like these torsos are like way too short, right? Everything's a little bit off, but also close enough that, I don't know. It's a cool style. I like it. I like it a lot. don't think I've ever seen a jewel in real life. I don't think I've ever seen anyone do a jewel in real life. Must be a high school thing. I love this zipper though. I was thinking about doing something like this. Drawing on a bunch of Post-it notes, tiling them all up. Really cool. You know, because that way each Post-it note, it's not overwhelming, right? You can just concentrate on one little square, but then you can put them all together and you still have like a big cool thing. That's fun. I like this. Very cool. So you're having a good time with these. You know, just do 1 a day. 2 a day, 10 a day is fine. Half a day. Half a day, half a day. Half a day onward. This looks like a weird engine or something almost. Really cool collection of lines. I dig it. Barely fits on your table. You have to get a bigger table. Keep it up, keep it up. This person, apparently, do they have a heart in each hand? Are they bleeding milk? This actually reminds me more of, have you ever cut one of those plants that has that white sticky sap? It's like the stickiest sap in the world. It's so awful. I hate cutting those plants. Like when you're doing weed pulling or something, it's just like awful. I feel sorry for this person getting that white sticky sap all over them. The white arrows, it looks good. I love the color scheme of this. It's, you know, crisp, sharp. Cool painting. The feathers look good. You're probably going to want to put you know, if you want your arrows to fly true, probably want to get 3. Here's someone honking. Is that my car? How long is this going to go on for? Okay, that's good. It's a cool doodle. Got a little Minecraft rail cart track here. A little something something here. I really do feel like I'm looking down into like some weird huge mine shaft, and there's all these different little things weaving back and forth across it for different types of, you know, maybe this one actually does have a minecart going across it, and this one they just roll other barrels across, and this one has like a bigger train going across it, and these ones they just have like little pneumatic tubes, and this one for something else, and I like the little variety there. There's even like a tiny hint of shading as they cross each other, which is good. I feel like you could even do that a little bit more, but sometimes you can get carried away. I used to use these all the time, Staedtler pigment liner. I'm guessing you use this Bic marker to color in the backgrounds. Good work, good work. Thank you for sharing. For some reason, this one looks familiar. Did I show this on the last video? Maybe I've just looked at it before. Not sure. Well, obviously, this is cool. I mean, I like this style just because I used to look at all these videos. I mean, not videos, but books, the cutaways, and, you know, like books where things were like sliced open. You know, you can see the inside, how they work, little diagrams and stuff. So I like that. And it's just like crisp and well done, you know. And then they had here stars inside. I'm not sure if this is traditional or digital. I mean, a lot of it looks digital, but then the fact that these dots are sloppy makes it seem traditional. I don't know. It looks cool though. I like it. Rip heart. The blank eyes, the soulless stare. Keep it up, keep it up. Creepy teeth. Okay, here we've got a new take on a color palette. Is it bad that if I think this looks almost exactly like what you'd get if you Google a color palette generator? Move it around a little bit? I mean, I guess you have to choose the colors. You choose the colors, you move the squares around a little. I mean, you could probably find something just like this in a museum somewhere if you blew it up big enough. So you do you, man. Do it up. Is this color a couple of these other colors combined, do you think? Could be. I mean, it feels good to look at. I like looking at it. I have good feelings, you know, the warm colors, kind of fall, I don't know. Ran out of oil. That's how I say it in Tennessee, I think. Oil instead of oil. I think when this person submitted this, they said, they said, please be mean or something. I'm not going to be mean. But this is undoubtedly the worst drawing of a dump truck I've ever seen. It is a pretty good drawing of a girl sitting here, though. I like it a lot, though, especially the background. Really ties it together. This is subtle stuff right here. I don't know if this is like digital artifacts, though, like these little swirls. And then the starry sky and how it just disappears at the ground. Little gradients on the sleeves and the skirt. I like it. No, it's nice. It's nice. I can't tell if there's like line. Hold on. How long have I been recording for? 2.5 hours? No wonder my throat hurts. I set an alarm to turn my fridge back on. That's what that was. Otherwise, I forget to turn my fridge back on, all my food goes bad. Cute toes. I like it. Good job. I like the color scheme of her face and everything, too. All right, this one freaks me out. This reminds me of those Guinness Book of World Records records for hairiest man. You ever see those people who are completely covered in hair? Just like from the edge of their lip and their whole face, and then just like you see their eyes poking out. That's what this looks like to me. Got a little piercing right there. Even this person's tongue inside their mouth looks like it's covered in hair. The little uvula. Creepy. Cool texture, though. Did this with a pen. Ballpoint pen, I think. It turned out great. Really cool. Keep it up. All right. We have here, looks like 3 lonesome souls lost in a lump. In a lurch, even. Sorry, I forgot my controls. 4 souls, maybe. Uno, dos quattro sank. And I also find myself drawing things like this. Big lumps with a little skinny stalk. I don't have bed sheets this cool, though. Mine are cooler. I like the lumps on the lump, the dots, the pastel background. I know I keep comparing every work to my own work, but I just do. Okay, I'm sorry. I am also working on figuring out things to do for my own backgrounds and my own drawings, and this is a cool idea. It's a cool thing to do. Mine are usually just plain white or just colored in solid black, and this is a cool idea. Smeared pastel colors. I think it could work well, even if none of the other thing in your Nothing else was colored. I like these black bars too, just kind of appearing and disappearing. This looks like a battle scene. We got a pillbox, guns pointing out, an explosion on a nearby mound, destroyed landscape. Yeah, I'm a big fan of drawing explosions. I used to draw them all the time, or at least try to, or look at them, or I mean, I used to want to be the type of, I used to want to be like an explosive, like a demolition expert, so I could explode buildings for a job, you know. So, love the little motion lines here. Looks great. It looks like an explosion, right? I mean, that's what my brain interpreted it as. So, success. Good job with all the little textures in the ground too. Debris strewn everywhere. Green pen too. Been a long time since I drew with a green pen. Okay. Got some colorful doodles here. A couple of people lost in the midst. Bees buzzing around. A frog trying to eat some of them. Happy little worm. I like how you did some color gradients, colors blending into each other. Makes me wonder, did you use Copic markers for this maybe? Why do I have these thoughts, you say? Sad face. I like this little character. I like this little guy kneeling here too. Now this would have been a good one to scan in before he started coloring it, because you know, if you ever want to make your own coloring book, other people could color it in other ways, or you could just give it to other people to color in, you know. Be pretty sweet. Sometimes it's cool to just put it out there and just see other people's interpretation of it as they color it in. It could turn out so many different ways, so many different feelings and moods just by different color schemes. Also, I would have liked to see it just black and white for some reason. I just like to see, you get a different feeling with the lines, just the lines. But this looks great too. Looks great. I love the yellow, just like yellow. Good work, good work. Ooh. This is, well, I was going to say dope, so I'll just say dope, you know? Sharp work. All with the 0. This is the finest micron that Micron makes. Look what you can do with it. I think it's a good touch you made here with a thicker line as an outline. I don't usually do that, but sometimes when I do, I'm really happy with it. Usually I don't even think of it, but I'm glad you did. You did it in a few places, and I think it looked really good. It looks really good. Really cool texture you did here. Accomplished it. And it's tough doing, I could tell you're drawing like a sculpture here, drawing a statue, and it's tough drawing these statues because sometimes the statues flat out look really weird, right? Like their eyes, they're like they you know, like there's holes in their eyes or something like that, and their ears look weird, but I'm not sure what's going on here with the statue. Probably just drawing some weird lump of stone on his shoulder, but it looks like a weird lump of stone, so good work. Good work, good work. And I love just that blank white space around it. Sharp contrast. Whoa. Another take on a face. Excuse me, I'm like losing my voice. This one looks sharp. First of all, it's a little weird drawing things that, obviously this is lit. A little weird, like lit from the bottom, like when you're telling a story at a scary story at a campfire, right? You can tell here and here that it's like lit from the bottom. The nose bothers me a little bit, but I think this is just one of those things where the nose probably looked weird in real life, and you just drew it just like you saw it, so it looks weird in the painting too. Things look weird in real life a lot of the time, and so I find that frustrating personally when I try to draw things just like I see them. Like, if I draw it just like I see it, my drawing is going to look weird, and everybody's going to think I did it wrong. But that's just is wrong in real life too. So obviously, very creepy how you left out the pupils and everything. And I love how, like everything here is kind of like blurry, like it's all vague, you know, very gradual gradients, and then how crisp these hairs are. You know, flat, black, everything, and then these crisp hairs wisping down here. It looks great. I love the colors and everything. And the hair, right? This is the same color as the background, and then only separated by that fine white line. I mean, it looks good. I like it a lot. Masterful watercoloring. I dig it. Some nice liney lumps here. Of course I like it because it's got a triangle in the back. Only thing that could have made it better is if it was an equilateral triangle. It almost looks like a weird, like a bodily organ, you know, like maybe is this a lung or a kidney or something? And then this is like a stomach or something down here, and it's all connected. Who knows? A bladder? We don't actually know where the bladder is in the human body. Science hasn't gotten that far yet. One day, maybe. But this is probably as far as we know what the inside of the human body looks like. This is the closest we've gotten. It is a little bit weird how there's like, is it just my monitor? There's like a weird, it's probably just the way the photo is taken. There's like a weird creamy color around everything. It's cool though. Cool contours, cool dots, cool thicker lines around everything. Did you use it's like you use like a calligraphy pen, like a chisel tip or something, you know? So this is another great drawing. Previously, in a previous video, this person submitted a drawing, which also was amazing, of course, and had pictures of even more waves. And then at one point, some of the waves in the water like disappeared, and I conjectured that maybe the person got tired of drawing waves and got lazy. I might have even said, I'm not sure. And then when they submitted this one, they're like, I don't think I got lazy with the waves or something, or they didn't give up on the waves. So I'm not sure if that's ever actually what happened. A lot of people in the comments were defending them, saying things like, you know, there's actually still spots in the water. You know, water actually works this way sometimes. You know, sometimes there's waves here, not waves here. And all that totally could have been true. Totally. Regardless. This one also looks amazing. Incredible drawing. Love these subjects of ships. I love boats, love ships, love water textures, and totally pulled it off. I've also had a good time in my life drawing buildings. I can't tell if this is supposed to be like a real skyline. Like, is that the Chrysler building right there, maybe? Not sure. But like the perspective of everything is cool. Like, I don't know, is this drawn from a photo? I don't know. Is this a real ship that exists in real life, or a fictional ship? I've never been on, actually I've been on a cruise once, but it wasn't like a ship like this, you know, like an ocean liner. It's pretty sweet. It looks great. Mm-hmm. Even just to hang out on a tugboat for a day would be sweet, right? Then you'd be bumping up against all these big ships. If anyone knows a tugboat captain who let me come hang out, let me know. Okay. Okay, is this... I don't think this is digital. It's like a clean enough photo that it looks kind of digital, but I don't think it is. I really enjoy the combination. I feel like this is paint and then graphite here. And that looks really cool to me, the way these are two mediums are combined. That's a crisp combination. I don't really know what else to say. I mean, like the green tone. I always heard that like when you're coloring in skin, making green, drawing your skin tones and everything, I always heard that skin has more blue and more green in those skin tones than you think it does, you know. Yeah, it looks good with the green here, and I don't know, I just like how the eye areas are just like plain black and white graphite. Ooh. I'm going to say it. It seems rather Polackian to me. Look at this. So it looks like, here's my hunch of how this went down. Get some watercolor supplies, splatter, splitter, droplet them onto this huge piece of paper. Maybe it's not that huge, I don't know. It's big enough. Enjoy all the splatters, and then go in here and outline everything, and then start drawing some little contours around everything. I love the way it turned out. It's cool to look at. It's like a crazy map. Like these are crazy continents or something. I don't know. It turned out cool. I love the purplish stuff. How some of it blended together. Really cool idea. Taped it off on the edges. That was smart, so it has a nice border. Well done. Well done. Yeah, I especially like these clumps right here, you know. It's probably my favorite part right there, where it has like really dense lines amidst the splotches. Kind of like it's like my least favorite thing when you're like trying to take a picture of your drawing and your own shadows in the way. Yeah, an exercise in shading and shapes here. Once again, a bold line around the edges really helps. I wish you had, this little gap right here bothers me a little bit. Is it okay that bothers me? But it looks good. I like the little shading. It's kind of inconsistent, the shading, maybe, you know, like, but maybe you did that on purpose. Maybe you did. That's okay. It just bothers me a little bit is all, you know. This side of this is shaded, but then the other side of this is shaded, and I don't know. But it looks cool. Your shading it's not splotchy or anything, so it's good. Good crisp lines. Using a ruler is totally fine. Not cheating. Do it up. Use that ruler. It's a tool. What is this? Largemouth bass? Salmon? Tuna? Betta fish? It's beautiful, whatever it is. Really, these fins look amazing. They really do. I like those a lot. I love how, I mean, you don't even have to color in the edges, you know they're white, I guess. I don't know what to say, but I like it. I like it a lot. Thank you. Oh, is that the type of fish it is? Vissaman? Or is that the name of the fish? Or is that your name? I don't know. Oh. Would it be wrong to say this is maybe this is more how we feel? This is a painting of how we feel than how we actually are. But how we feel is how we actually are, as much as how we look. I'm astonished by how much, you know, how many recognizable features there are, like, you know, the nose and the lips, despite how splotchy it is. I think that turned out really well. That looks like it, personally, I think this looks like it was really satisfying to make. I feel like, I don't know. I hope it's not, I'm not stepping on any toes to say I feel like you were probably listening to good music while you made this. Maybe, you know, not everyone likes listening to music while they make art, but I do. I probably would have listened to Tame Impala while I made this, but I like it a lot. Good splotches. Good splotches. Ooh, got a collection of doodles here. I used to do this. I used to put paper up on my lamp too to help the diffusion or something, or whatever you did. I used to tape paper all over my lamps. till I got my little umbrella lamps. Fingernail clippers, I approve. All right. I like them. Good doodles. A lot of toothy smiles and grimaces, gaunt faces, ghouls, ghosts, and goblins. I like this scribble with the sombrero hat, skull in the back. Keep it up. Thanks for sharing. Sudden Death, you wrote a few times. Is that the name of a band you're forming? Pretty cool. Here we have another very abstract paint piece. I like it. I mean, this looks like how, you know, I paint one thing and then I look back at my paint palette, and my paint palette looks way cooler than the thing I tried painting. You know, this my paint palette ends up looking more like this. I just like looking at all the different ways the paint splooches and splotches together. See, you scraped away at it here some. Very rusty color scheme. I'm down with it, you know? I'm down with it. I don't really, for some reason, I don't like this vaguely, how this motion right here is vaguely up and to the right, but just barely, right? For some reason, that makes me uneasy, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I'm still down with paintings that make me vaguely uneasy. Okay, that doesn't mean I don't like it. I'm just saying it makes, sometimes I like how paintings and art, I like how I don't like it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes that's a good thing. Some sort of brain plant, possibly, let's say subterranean. How do I say under the water? But then now all this looks like it's under the water, but then this also looks like it's going into the water. But I've also seen videos about how there's rivers underwater where it looks like there actually is rivers underwater. Maybe it's like that. I love how shiny and wet this looks, though. It looks legitimately slimy. Excuse me. And then the heart caught up in the midst of the brain's tendrils. Poor heart. Poor brain. Well done, though. I feel like all these little touches of white here on pretty much everywhere you put it was a good touch. They really helped everything pop. Pop. Even the little things floating in the air or the water, whatever's going here. Ooh. Now you know I'm a sucker for diagrams. And I don't know if I've really seen a diagram like this before, where the colors were at the end of the little lines. Also, I like this kind of drawing where it kind of looks like the lines themselves over here, all this stuff, are like, it's like a wire sculpture. I like these kind of lines. I like this a lot. Wait. Like, I feel like you could pull this off the paper and like squeeze it and wiggle around and hang it on a nail, right? And it would all kind of stick and hang together. But I like this idea right here, this part. It looks cool. It looks really cool. I like that. Just this style, this aesthetic, I'm down with it. For sure. Yeah. Turtleneck, maybe? I don't know. We have a unicorn octopus. I don't know why I couldn't think of that word. Once again, was very careful about drawing every suction cup on every tentacle. I don't know if there's 8 tentacles in this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's tough to get all the tentacles. I might have counted wrong anyways, but it looks great. I don't know what kind of paint this is. It's tough to tell. Love the color scheme and the background. It's cool. Got something weird going on here. Are these supposed to be eye masks? Looks like maybe they can put on one eye mask and have two eyes, or put on a different eye mask and be a cyclops. Wait. Are these other eyes right here? I'm not sure. And they have wings coming out of the back of their curly headed hair. I like it though. It's a cool idea even though I'm not sure what's going on. Wait a second. Maybe you're supposed to be able to look at it upside down also. But I think I'd have to reverse it or something. I'm not sure. Okay, here we got kind of a blurry picture, but it looks like some solid stippling going on here. A very disappointed man at the bottom. Hash marks. Deep darkness surrounding. It's a sort of incantation circle. Does this say anything that I'm supposed to be able to read? I do like these lumpy, loopy characters. And snakes. Kind of. I like it. I like these. It reminds me of coral. These shapes right here remind me of coral for some reason. I'm a fan of coral. You can put me down. Put me down as a fan of coral. This kid is getting bullied. Oh, he goes to a zombie high school, and he's the only one that's not a zombie. He's the only one that's woke. Is that what it is? What a freak. Just put on the Letterman jacket. Go to the football games. Oh, this is a well-constructed paper airplane, though. Whoever threw it isn't even there anymore. Poor guy. High school's tough, even if you're at a regular high school with other humans. A nice mandala. I like these kind of bird shapes in this circle of it. That's a cool pattern. That's pretty much all you gotta do to make a cool mandala. Is, make a circle and then in it draw a shape, right? Literally any shape. If you make it a little simpler, you make it a little easier on yourself, right? Draw literally any shape and then just draw it over and over again and it'll look super cool. Like this looks sweet. The eye in the middle doesn't ruin this one for me. This one looks cool. I mean, it's okay. Looks pretty sweet. You could tell this person took their time with it for the most part. Yeah, looks pretty good. Got it on a clipboard even. Look at him go. I like it a lot. It's pretty satisfying. There's even like some stippling shading in here. And a lot of, this stippling shading right here probably took as much time as all the rest of the lines drawn. It's kind of frustrating for me when I do that kind of thing. Why did I do the stippling? Taking forever. No one's going to appreciate it. Okay, we got some shoe art. I wonder what kind of paint this is that they do the shoe art with. I like it though. I'm not sure what this is. This Hedwig? Is this Hedwig? And I like this a lot better though. I'm not sure if I would, I would wear this around. I just don't really like wearing Chucks for some reason. They're kind of uncomfortable. There's like nothing to them. I do like the Daft Punk Joy Division stuff there. Sum 41. And I'm in too deep. I like the nostrils. I like looking into nostrils and mouths. Very cool, big fan. This looks all right too. I'm just not sure what this is. Cool color scheme though. Okay, so we got someone with their jeans and stuff and their, what are these called, like leggings of some sort? I'm not sure. But I like how there's like, it's like a multimedia thing here, right? There's like actual threads pasted on here, which is a really cool way to go about this. Fishnet, what are these, like fishnet stockings or something? What would you call them? A face in the background, which looks strangely creepy and realistic. Oh, you can't see it. Check that out. Like, this eye right here looks really realistic. I don't know why that looks so real to me. Oh, I think it's a photograph posted in. Oh, I think all of these are photographs of eyes posted in. No wonder. No wonder they look so real. Oh, it's so well rendered. I think this is a photograph of a shoe too, or something. I don't know. It's a cool, I guess, does this count as a collage? I like it, whatever it is. Really, this is a cool idea with the strings though. I think those are strings. Looks like a face comet plummeting down from the heavens. Get him some goggles. But I like the motion in this piece. Cool collection of lines to imply all that motion, billowing doodles. All right. I think up there it says head in the clouds. We got another Kawiko Sport here. Is this the same person who posted their Kawiko Sport in there again? I'm not trying to do too many from the same people. In fact, only one from each person, so I apologize. But it's all right. This one looks pretty sweet. It says ham, which I'm guessing means this is Ponyo fan art. Donna Hart. Okay, maybe not. It's for Donna. High school crush, probably. I used to do this in high school all the time. I would do a doodle, and then if there was a girl I liked, I would like put their name in it somewhere and be like, hey, I drew this for you. When really I drew it for myself, but then I would just hide their name or their initials in it there somewhere and be like, hey, it's for you. And then they acted like they liked it. I like this, though. Castles, kind of like a mix between castles and spaceships, and of course, Howl's Moving Castle, of course. Kind of Dr. Seussian plants here, too. Ooh. Here's a crisp one. See, this person really cranked up the like exposure contrast sliders a lot. Like this is the deepest, darkest black, you know. If this hasn't been edited at all, you would see all the little marker marks in here. This might have been overdone a tiny bit, but I am guilty of doing this in my own drawings too. Hopefully, I try not to do it quite this bad, but I definitely have before. It's just like, kind of makes your eyes bleed a little bit if it's too much. But it's hard to find the fine line sometimes. This is a cool one, you know? Lots of different little things going on here. Castle, aqueduct, weird ferns, and something here. This is obviously a giant butthole on the horizon. That's how they know each new day is starting on this planet. I like this kind of landscape here. It's like a clay sculpture. Sculpey clay, maybe? What do you think? It looks adorable, especially just be able to hold it right there in the palm of your hand. The flowers are so well done. All those tiny rose petals. Adorable little eyes. Oh, I just realized they each have a third eye in the middle of their forehead. It took a creepy turn there. Gold-plated antlers. Are they supposed to be conjoined? Is this actually one deer with two heads? Is that what's going on here? I'll allow it. It looks pretty sweet. Suddenly, when I noticed these kind of more sinister things about it, these flowers look almost bloody to me for some reason, even though there's no reason I should really think that. But then there's like these weird little drippings here. I don't know. Definitely interesting. I like the little speckles. Those look good. I like this. it's different, you know? Just a big, weird rectangle crashing down onto the paper with some clouds and a mountain back there. Yeah, I like it. I wonder if they had a huge brush and they did it with one brush stroke, and it splattered a little bit, you know, because it didn't really touch down over here, dried out or something. No, I bet you what happened was they had another piece of paper on top of it that got completely wet and soaked through, and this happened behind it. They drew something else on top of it. I bet you that's what happened. I wonder what that piece of paper was. Pretty fun, though. And they doodled this over here and outlined those. I'm down. Trying to go to the next one. Some sort of mountain, tall, sharp mountain. I thought this was the back end of a dragon at first. In fact, it might be, but it might not be. Little plants or something growing up off of it. These are fun. This is a fun thing to do, you know? Scribble away, get these cool textures and going. I like it. Go for it. I like the shade of, what is this? What color would you call this? Like a greenish blue? Puce? I have no idea what color puce is. I just want to say it. I like how it's darker at the top, too. There's some sort of collage. This looks, behind it looks like it's from Wizard of Oz. I'm not sure what this is from, though. Pretty cool. Heart balloon. I like the vibe. I do. This makes you realize how much like all this stuff was just like a painting in the background, these scenes from Wizard of Oz. I mean, I don't know what else it would have been at that point. Here we got a photograph. Oh, really cool photograph. So I guess this is pretty sweet, you know? This is looking straight down. You only have 2 people in this. But it looks like you've got 4 people, and it looks like they're standing. You know? The confusing perspective of this makes it cool to look at. You think someone was just up in their office and looked down and took this of the courtyard of their office building or something? I wonder if it really went like this. But I wonder if this is the original way it was taken. I bet it was, but obviously it's much more powerful like this, because then your brain first sees these standing shadows instead of these. If it's taken like this, you see these people first almost, you know. It's pretty interesting. Okay. This looks like maybe this guy has the oatmeal chicken pox. I would not envy him in this situation. Tumor boy. Would not want a goodnight kiss from this poor creature. Also looks like maybe he's burning in hell from the background. And he has an extra nostril as well. So there's all sorts of, maybe get him some chapstick too, and eyelid chapstick. Can you put chapstick on your eyelids? Put it on your lips and then squint your eyes shut. Put it on your eyes. That's what this kid needs to do. Poor thing. No, I like it. It's crazy. I'm down with it. Dots, a triangle, lines, squiggles, shading. I like how this part kind of shoots up out of the triangle like some sort of, like modern art sculpture. And this part's all flat in here. This part is the only thing that kind of really has it looks like it has any sort of shape or body to it. It's interesting. Okay, here we have some sort of, it almost looks like, like religious iconography. It's pretty though. It's like we got ribbons, sequins. It's painted in the back, I think. This is painted too, but then you got sequins glued on here for the coat or the cloak or robe, or it's really pretty. I actually like it a lot. Especially the ribbons. That's a really good touch. I want to do that. I want to get golden ribbons, start gluing them down and stuff. It turned out great. It's, orange juice man. He doesn't look that happy. Can we help him? I wonder if he has extra pulp. Is he Grove Stand style? That's what I get. Gotta get Grove Stand style. I've heard terrible things about what they do with the pulp, but that hasn't dissuaded me yet. This is really well done though, especially, look at all the attention put into the background with all the little ferns or leaves or whatever's going on back there. I feel like that took longer than anything else in this drawing. All these little details, are these repeated or anything, or are all they drawn? I'm not sure. I like these tall stalks too. The weird little simplistic feet. I like it. Ooh. Some more fun with watercolors and then drawing on top of them, I guess. If I had to guess. I don't have to, but I will anyways. Look at that. I like how everything's kind of piling up. The colors, hint at kind of an industrial setting. I like how the blue is sprinkled in there too, though. I think this turned out really well. Makes me want to do it again. I like this little, like how this is like a crevice or a ledge. There's so many different things you can do when you put those splotches of watercolor down. You can take it a million different directions. You took it a good direction, of course. Probably out of all the million directions, at least 900,000 of them are good directions. Excuse me. Sweet. I love this robe. Where do I get this robe? What is it? Like a kimono or something? The person looks happy despite green tears pouring out of the mouth and eyes. I think they look weirdly happy, or maybe they're angry, crying, angry, grimacing. Sweet sword. Is it still in the sheath? I can't tell if it's in the sheath or it just has weird things on the blade. Cool background, I guess. Is it weird that I want the background to be these lines to be at the same angle as the sword? I can't tell if that would actually be better or not. I would probably change the background to be the same angle as the sword and then realize that I'd probably realize it's actually worse and then change it back. They probably already messed around with it. But this is probably my favorite part, this robe. Love that. Got some more watercolored splotches and lines. Pretty fun. Pretty cool. Always a good time. You can tell how much time was spent just coloring in the background on this one. It's like some sort of dragon. But with a man's heart. He's trapped in there still. It's pretty sweet. All these. You really made the white lines pop, Keep it up. Is this a dinosaur bird? It looks small. Well, it's eating a well-rendered grasshopper or cicada or a green cockroach or something. I love all the... Does it have fur? Is this fur? At first I thought it was just blurry, but I think there's like little bits of fur on here. It's adorable. I'll accept this into the small, cute bird club, whatever this thing is. Is this a real thing, by the way? I'm trying to figure out if this is a real thing or some mythological creature or extinct dinosaur. I like it. Looks like a pokey trainer. If the hat was different. The background is exciting. What did you cover it? You kind of covered it up and it's splattery. I like it. I like it. Get the splatter in for sure. Down. I'm down with it. She's tired of it all. You can tell by her expression. When is she going to get out of this boring town? Whoa. Don't tell me this isn't super cool. Wait, so is all of this stuff, this is what is like it's like a crazy, beautiful representation of what is happening right here, right? Is that what's going on here? Yeah, because look, those, like those little flowers are like right there. I like this a lot. I love how all those different layers, 3D, the color scheme, just the idea behind it. I don't know if I even understand the idea behind it, but whatever it is, I like looking at it, okay? It's like a little 3D, it's like a little world in there. Even like the little spots for like the pencil and the airbrush and stuff are like little cubby holes. Different little windows you can flick through hanging on a peg. Beautiful. This, and even just this part is. I would like it if you just submitted this picture, you know, of the flowers. But there's like a whole world built around it. Look, little layers hanging out of itself. That's so cool. I like that a lot. This almost reminds me of like dueling doodles or something, except this one isn't fighting back. It's not even defending itself. It's just like getting chopped in half by this one. Hey, take it easy, this one. Take it easy. This one's just minding its own business. This is like a Kakuna over here. Just gonna do Harden again. Looks pretty sweet though. It's bad if I think maybe this one's unfinished. I feel like there could be something else done here, but it still looks cool. You know, maybe this one could benefit from going a little slower with some of the lines. You know, places like this, but still, I mean, like places like this, I like these a little dark, where the textures get really dense. Like if there was more of this sort of thing, I would love it. I love those spots. Really sweet. Some sort of toucan, parrot. Are parrots toucans or are toucans parrots, or kind of like squares or rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares? Hanging up on a wall even. This is a big deal. It's beautiful. It is. Drippling. Can't really tell what's going on with the legs, but it looks good. The green back, I mean, it's pretty. It's pretty. I mean, it's just a pretty painting, you know? It's colorful, vibrant. People like parrots. And people like jellyfish. This is a good drawing of a jellyfish. I like how colorful you made it. Are there any jellyfish that are actually this color? I'm not sure. I don't think so, though. Usually they're pretty just kind of see-through. If they are this colorful, I feel like it's much more muted because they're just more jelly colored. Excuse me. I like this, though, little hint of stuff in the background. I'm not sure if maybe there's supposed to be more of that somewhere. I don't know why it's like just like a clump right here and nothing over anywhere else. I like this halo around it, though. That's interesting. Kind of a glare or light playing tricks on your eyes. I like what you've done here, though, with like the little speckly part, different effects of the jelly and stuff. It looks good. My last name sounds kind of like jellyfish, so I like them naturally. It's beautiful. It's a pretty one. I'm sitting here wondering if I'm supposed to recognize this guy. I don't. But I love how I can see like the clumps of paint. Excuse me. I love the texture. You can see it, you know? This must have been oil paints, huh? Is it bad that I think this one's unfinished? What you've got here so far looks amazing. This face, it looks like that was so satisfying to do. I wish I knew how to do that. Especially the hair. This is why I love like going and seeing paintings in real life in galleries and stuff, you know, because you can go up to them and look at them at a sharp angle and look really close and see that it really is like, you can almost imagine like the actual painter sitting there years and years ago. And what in your mind's eye, see the paintbrush pushing the paint around. It looks great. Really cool, really cool. Well rendered, for sure. Excuse me. It's a fun one. Once again, I feel like it's the kind of thing I do all the time. Big clump of lines on a tiny stalk. I like the little flower there is pretty fun. Little sunflower with its petals pushed back, almost cowering back. Like this is a big alien version of it, towering over it ominously. Guess there's some petals there too, huh? Nice. Say battle. Up. Battled. Wait, bottled up. I'm sorry. I like it. I feel like this is bad to assume this is a. I feel like this might be a good contender for class doodles. Maybe not though. I mean, this is there though. Bunch of fun shapes, squishing them all together, combining them, flowing from one thing to the other. Keep it up. Playing around with textures, shapes. Yeah. Good times. You know, there's always something new to look at. This it scared me, okay? It scared me when it obviously pretty terrifying eyeballs here. Made the eyeballs bigger and it's a fresh take on them. The teeth those are pretty good. All with the ballpoint pen. Can you guys hear that dog barking in the background? Why do people have dogs? They just bark. I like this. I like this. I mean, it's like the proportions of the head are good. I mean, I feel like a little bit of it's thrown off just because you made the eyes so big, but that's obviously for like shock value, you know, making it so weird. I mean, it looks good like this, but I feel like you could even take it a step further and make some of the, you know, polish it out and make some of these, you know, surely you've seen what some people do with with Big Pen. But you don't have to do what some people do. This is a legitimate style like it is. So keep it up. This looks like I could imagine that this thing in the middle here used to be an orb, and then it got sandwiched by these two piles of doodles. Oh, this is the same guy. Look, you got put in here twice. It's supposed to be an unspoken rule, okay? Submit one thing. Abdus, Samd. Just submit a thing. Then everyone can be in here once. Cool drawing, though. Cool drawing. I've already been talking for 2.5 hours. 3.5 hours. And you're putting in 2 doodles. It's okay, I forgive you. Got a depression doodle. It's a legitimate kind of doodle. It's good. Breathe. Hey, art. Just let it all out on the paper. It's good. It's a healthy way to let it all in, let it all out. Just draw. It's good. Okay? Art is a great way to vent. So thank you for sharing. I like these dots, by the way, and how they're flying away. Got a cool hourglass. That's what it's called. It's like a sleepy thing. Whenever I see pictures of people sleeping like this, like I feel like this is supposed to be comforting, but it makes me feel very cold. Whenever I see people sleeping with bare shoulders, I feel cold. Because I feel like if my shoulder is bare when I'm asleep, I feel cold. I just have very sensitive shoulders. But maybe it's not supposed to be comforting. Maybe it's supposed to make you feel claustrophobic or something. And the whole sky is filtering down on top of her. I don't know. It's a cool idea, though. Cool colors. I like the way the stars are drawn, filtering down into here. The warmth of these is cool. Reflection. Is this taken at an angle, like across the paper? It looks like it might be. I'm not sure. The Three Musketeers under the Illuminati triangle. Looks like there's like silhouettes of scary shapes here. It's cool drawing. I like this one the best. If I had to choose one to be my friend, to go on an adventure with, to start a band with, it'd be this one over here on the right. Don't know. Maybe it's because it has the most little hatch marks, and I'm a sucker for those. And it's got a mouth on the top of its head instead of the front. I don't know why. It's pretty sweet. Looks like a Bic pen drawing. A well-rendered face. Look at this shading here. Love that shading. You can do a lot with Bic pens. This person says, my mouth is dry. Mine too. I have to pee. Peach. I think this guy is lost. Is he okay? Don't touch him. So these guys are walking around. They're just lumps without feet. And essentially, this guy is too. What if he's just scooting around on his neck lump? I kind of like that idea. Just being a person this is the bottom of your body. You're just kind of moving around like a slug. But this is your whole body. I don't know. You think they used a ruler for this? Just draw a line, move the ruler, draw another line, gradually move it along. It's a pretty cool background. I like it. But great cross-hatching here. I want to see that in person. I love that sort of thing. Some sort of mechanized bird, I think. It's a beak. Looks like Sonic fan art almost. You know what I'm talking about? You seen those Sonics they always have the spiky hair like that? I like it though. This looks like corrugated metal. Nice shading. Is this all pencil or is this... I think it's all pencil, isn't it? I'm not sure. Looks like a artichoke. Looks like he began to draw maybe a city skyline behind it or something. Looks good so far. Looks good. I like it. It says confrontation is inevitable. Got a pig here, I think. Lunar New Year, pig. Is it the year of the pig right now? I like the way that, I actually really like the sketchy style of the way this backpack is rendered. I like that a lot. I do. I'd like to see like a whole drawing like that. Ooh, there's a lot going on here. Some pages from, looks like binary, burnt, edges burnt, drawn on. A lot, whoa, didn't even notice this. A whole lot of squiggles right here. More burnt pages. Colory blobs. Lots of colory blobs. There's a great combination of things going on here. This looks like it's a pretty big thing. Probably took a long time. Very interesting, very interesting. When you look at it from like farther away, you can see this like maybe a face right here. Blur your eyes a little bit. Not sure. I feel like that's kind of all I see, a face. This is like a molar. I'm not sure. Probably not what it's supposed to be though. A flower maybe, I don't know. Lightning, who knows. But really, these squiggles probably took forever. Okay, this probably took forever too. You know, it's one thing to do all these squiggles. This could have looked a lot flatter, but you can tell that they went back and there's even some subtle, there's a lot actually of subtle shading going on here to make some things kind of dip behind some other things a little bit, which I think helps it a lot and makes it at least twice as interesting to look at. That subtle shading goes a long ways, you know. I think it really does. I mean, I think it could have even used a little more, but that's up to the artist. It still looks pretty sweet this way. You know, and some of the main purpose of this is not the finished product, but you can really get into like a kind of like a meditative state when you're doing these things. You know, just the time flies by. You don't notice the time flying. It's good. I think it can be good for you mentally. You can think about things. I don't know. Not everyone does it for that reason, but I certainly have in the past. All right, we've got a person, a cool cat with gauges maybe. I do like the colors here, especially this pink glow outside, and then how it's even reflected here, side of the neck. And some more water, maybe, is this watercolor swirls? I like this right here. How the swirls go, the circles go around it. And here. Pretty fun. I think it is watercolor. The little petals sort of things. To be honest, I think this is from Dragon Ball Z, but I have never seen a whole episode of Dragon Ball Z, so I don't know this character's name. What I can say for sure is that this is incredibly crisp work. It's clean. I mean, like, look at this. This is clean, crisp, polished. Someone tell me this character's name. It looks good. Does this part close like a beetle's shell? Or does it stay open? This is from Dragon Ball Z, right? Yeah, I don't know what else to say, but this looks sharp. It looks sharp. What kind of Winsor Newton markers? I didn't know they made markers. Looks like they work well, though. Looks like they work really good. I like it. Okay, so I guess the whole idea here is all this stuff is blasting and bursting out of this poor guy's noggin. You think this is a self-portrait of the artist? Is this Joel H? Probably. Poor guy. Should have let it all sit inside and one burst out of his skull. I guess it all comes out sooner or later in one way or another. I like it though. It's like almost looks like it was drawn with some sort of chisel tip marker, which is an interesting choice. Turned out well though. Turned out really good. I thought these were photographs at first. Look, this one and this one looks like a painting to me. This one really looks like a painting. And this one looks like a painting. But then these two, for some reason, really look like photographs to me. But I think they are actually paintings. Right? They look really good. I'm really impressed. Are they tiny paintings or are they photographs of paintings shrunk down? Because they look really small. To be honest, I'm not sure what I'm looking at here, but whatever it is, I mean, even if they are photographs, they're really nice photographs. I don't think they're photographs though. I mean, like, I feel like now that I look closer to the water, you know, like you can see the little brush strokes in the water maybe. I don't know. It's great. I don't even know what to say. I feel like this stuff is like extremely high professional grade work, you know, like it's great stuff. Love it. Love it. Okay, we got a like a mech, some sort of mechanized stuff. I like how it goes like up and over her head. You can tell it's like not touching her head, but then it comes down here. Some sort of tiger face mask. Saber-toothed tiger. Combination of pencil, sketching, shading here, and ink lines. It's always a fun combination. I need to do that more often. Little hearts for pupils. Cute. Well done, well done. Joel. Here's the second one from Joel. We got an otter. It's an otter, right? Where's his other tooth? Shouldn't it be like right here? Or right here? Maybe it would be behind there. I don't know. It's cute though. Skull and cross lollipops. So you know he's not too intimidating. Kill you with sweetness. And he's inside maybe a jelly donut or something. I'm not quite sure what's going on here. But it's cute. I like his little nose. It's a cute little eye. Yeah. Oh, he's even got an eye patch on. Oh, does that mean he lost an eye? No. I'm not quite sure what's going on right here. Is this just part of the otter or part of the donut? I don't know. It's cool though. Oof. Scary. It's like a face, but drawn like a skull. Like this is like how a skull nose would be, huh? And there's blood dribbling out of it. This is creepy. What does that remind me of? There's teeth coming out of the lips or something. All sorts of weird stuff going on here. I feel like this is something we've seen before. It's difficult to make horns come out of the hair, right? I don't know. Difficult. And then there's just this overwhelm. That is a well-drawn blackness. Like that shadow behind them. I don't know, is that like a veil? Or is it just a shadow? I like it though. pretty scary, pretty spooky. This would make it easier to pick your nose, though, if it was just one big hole. Wouldn't have to worry about nostrils. Where do I sign up? I like this this proportion, this shape for drawing in. I like how it turned out too. Weird, cool little like textures and strokes and little patterns spiraling off. It's a fun idea. Limit your space by, first of all, cutting your paper in half and then draw a big circle in the middle and then just work around that. And I like this right here too. Zoot, zoot. It's pretty sweet. Some sort of gargoyle. Those eyes. Those are intense eyes. I like the hair. This whole style I like. Now, it is interesting. The background, I mean, the armor is all one background texture, right? Like these scales don't change direction for, which way the armor is pointing, which I think is an interesting choice. Not necessarily bad. I think it's just interesting. Painted toenails. I like it. Cute dog. Starry sky dog. Really pretty. I like that. Some sort of doodly, weird-headed stranger, traveler, sentinel or something. It's got like weird cavities in his head, and maybe these are like feelers like a snail has. Don't touch them or they'll go back into its head. Ooh. I like this combination of colors. That is, I don't know, I feel like that's what I do too, is I only add red when I want to add a color. Just add red. Oops. But the contrast here looks cool. All this looks cool. The weird little windows or something hanging from above. Dark blackness in the background. Red circles. Concentric. A ruler. It turned out really good, I think. Oh, this one, I saw this one when I saved it, and I had to stop and look at it for a second. That looks so satisfying. I love this one. I want it to dry. First of all, I want to be able to run my finger through this while it's still wet, and then be able to Control Z that, and then let it dry, and then run my finger across it and not mess it up. This looks so sad. It looks like there's a glare on it, but there's not, right? It's just like white paint over here, the gradual gradient, light blue, darker blues, maybe even a black. Is that a black right there, you know? It looks amazing. Turned out great. How it looks, and then like you could tell it has a physical texture to it too, which is a huge plus. Here we've got a person with a hand. If this is a person I'm supposed to recognize, I don't. It could be a rock star or something. I'm not sure. They look kind of cool next to each other. Disembodied head, disembodied hand. I can't figure out how to do it right. It's fine. Turned out good though. This is good ballpoint. I think this is ballpoint pen, right? Yeah. Not bad. Not bad at all. I'm going backwards. How rose and beautiful you are. How rare and beautiful you are. I'm bad at I mean, that kind of looks like an S. It's got S-like features to it. I'm bad at cursive. Oh, this is good. feel like it would have been good if it said rose, because there are roses. Are there roses back here? At least one of these has got to be a... This is maybe a... No, I don't know. Maybe there are no roses. So that's a chrysanthemum. Anyway, I have no idea what that is. Okay. No, it's nice line work. This, I can see this being in a coloring book, this sort of stuff, you know. Bob Ross made out of happy little trees. This is cool. Sliced up. And some parts of it are drawn in negative, it looks like. And some parts have been repeated a little bit. Like this slice right here is like right here on this part. You know what I mean? So it's not like even slices. The only part that weirds me out a little bit is... Never mind. No, it looks great. I was just going to say the shading looks like pubes is all. But that is not a nice thing to say. So I won't say it. But from back here, it looks amazing. Okay? I love it from back here. I mean, even from up here, it's good, and for how uncomfortable it makes me. The curlies. Oh, this is really cool. And like, even just how you got this like shading on like the edge of the glasses and everything. Nailed it. Some sort of, is that a heart or a beast? Or are these hands prying open a heart and it's exploding out? Are these little people? I'm not quite sure what's going on. Or is it a heart volcano, maybe? It's pretty cool, whatever it is. At first I thought it was like a spider. I thought these were like spider legs, but then I realized they're more like droplets dripping down, and these might have been fingers, and I don't know. It's pretty scary. The only thing worse than this is when they put one of these things on your eyes. Like in the Minority Report. You know, when he had that eye surgery. These are I like this style though. What are these pastels? What is this? I like this, like the color theme, the color, just how it all fits together, and the words in the background. That looks really cool. The handwriting, just the whole vibe of it. I like it a lot. This blue, the blue in the crevices. I dig that. I like these bubbly hands too. You know, if I was supposed to look at that. Yeah, really sweet. Those look great. This is the anatomy of like a pill giving birth, maybe. Maybe this is the mouth eating a pill. Maybe. These are baby pills. Maybe. That's my interpretation of it. Of course, it's open to interpretation other ways by other people. Okay? Okay. It's good for a minute of thought, though. I like it. I feel like it could have maybe taken like at least another minute making these lines, you know. I feel like if these lines right here are curving around, it had just been a little bit more careful, I would have had a better sense of like 3D body about this pill. Maybe that's not what you wanted, but I don't know. I feel like that's like the only main glaring thing about it to me. Oh, is that the last drawing? Is that it? Well, there's a lot of drawings. We went over 191 drawings, and it only took us almost 4 hours. I don't know if anyone's going to watch this whole video. Or if I said anything helpful to anyone. But thank you all for submitting things if you submitted anything, and thank you all for listening and watching if you did that. If anyone watched to this point, type bloop bloop I love poop in the comments. I dare you. Then we'll know that you made it to the end of the video. You're in the exclusive club, all right? And only do it if you only watch the whole video, not if you skip to here, okay? Okay, bye.